Good morning, my beautiful people. I just saw that, Parker. I was like, who in the actual hell is already sending PayPal before I even get started here? But thank you for your $5 donation. I appreciate you, Parker. That's very nice of you. I was literally like, going through like all the things on the screen and like making sure all my screens are set up and that my audio is working right. And like my phone just, I'm like, what the fuck is really going on now? I haven't even started the show yet, man. Just saying. 420. Love it. I appreciate it. The hustle is real, my friend. That it's officially worked 7 days a week now, because I did last night's stream, which is like, I don't usually do Saturdays, but I felt like maybe it was something we needed to watch. I didn't necessarily get new information or things that I already didn't know, but I think it's a good start. Hey, girl. Hey. I know it is afternoon. I totally slept in a little because I listened to the spaces and like it was late. All right. It was late. I couldn't stop laughing at Babs. All right. Shit. I couldn't stop laughing at Babs. She's funny. But there were a couple ladies on our panel. And I just want to correct some things for anybody who did listen to that space last night. There was one lady who was talking about the Kelsey Fitzsimmons case. And I understand that she's from Texas, but she said something along the lines of like, well, the court didn't give notice that Kelsey was going to be put back in jail, and they got to give notice. They can't just snatch you from court. Ma'am. Yes, they absolutely freaking can, and they do every single day in America. If you have a court date, and they feel like holding you on that court date, they do. They do. Happens every day, not just in Massachusetts, but all over the country. So that was the first thing I wanted to correct. And the second thing was she was saying that Aiden should have only been charged with harassment and not witness intimidation, that they overcharged. No. And I'll explain why. Witness intimidation does not require you to be afraid. Harassment has a portion of it that requires fear. Witness intimidation does not. And also, he broadcasted to the internet that his intent was to make them change what they were going to say on the stand. So yeah, that's witness intimidation. Our statutes are real clear here. Maybe not so much in Texas, but they're real clear here. He was not overcharged. He was charged with the correct thing because it does not require fear, and he made his intent known. Why would they charge him with harassment for witnesses? That makes no logical sense at all when they don't have to be afraid physically of him, just that his behavior is causing this ruckus of where he wants them to change their opinion on what they're going to testify to, which he stated himself on his own YouTube presentations. Oh, that's so nice, Christy. That's so nice. I'll give you the tea that, there isn't really much. It's all like, yeah, sometimes when it comes to the law, it really agitates me, especially in my own state here. Hey, Allie. Because in Massachusetts, our statutes are pretty damn clear. And throughout this entire trial and many other trials that we've had and that we've watched that come from all over, there are people on the internet who are like, that's wrong, that's not good. And that was the other thing. She said what the judge did in the Kelsey Fitzsimmons case was unconstitutional because Runkle said so. I can't make this up, okay? I can't fucking make this because Runkle said so. Well, guess what? Runkle's not the law. Runkle's a fucking YouTuber. He's a law tuber who has to pander to his audience. Yeah, you have to send smoke signals out. I sent her a text message, but you might have to send smoke signals out. might have to send them. So it wasn't unconstitutional. Bradel fucked up. And instead of like figuring out that just Bradel fucked up, we don't have to go with this false narrative that it was unconstitutional that the judge put her back in jail. It wasn't unconstitutional. Was it unfortunate? Yes. Unconstitutional? No. They lost the appeals, and the argument for that was they could lose the appeals, but it's still unconstitutional because the court's just gonna go. He's in Canada. Shut the fuck up. That's hilarious. Like, bro, this is the United States. Here, Runkle, sir, it's not unconstitutional. You absolute buffoon. All right. And here's the thing. This is the part that pisses me off. You got all these law troopers with hundreds and thousands of subscribers, and they're saying shit like that. Like, is this real life? Like, stop saying shit that ain't fucking true, dude. It's not unconstitutional to send someone back to jail. Here was the problem, and I will explain it and break it down. When Bradel went back into court for Kelsey Fitzsimmons, she had just been released from jail. Okay? With conditions. Released with conditions, right? When you're released with conditions, you have to follow those conditions or you don't get released. That you agreed to those conditions to be released. That's like the point, right? So Bradel, in the preceding 3 days of that, filed 2 motions to remove 2 out of the 3 parts of those conditions. No conditions, no being let out. That's how it works. You agreed to those conditions. Now in the next 3 days she's let out, you want to remove 2 out of them. 2 out of the 3. So essentially you want to remove all the conditions that she agreed to get out of jail. No conditions, no getty outy. Like, not unconstitutional. A judge was well within her right to say, okay, you can't do those conditions, back to jail you go. Now, had Bradel done his fucking job and brought some medical documentation to say she cannot breathe doing the scram, then they would have had no choice but to give her something else. Although, if they wanted, they still could have sent her back to jail for him trying to remove the other condition with no replacement. And no reason why. You know? I don't think a lot of people do know a lot about the case. And they're just kind of jumping on this bandwagon of like, I don't know, I think they're looking for the next Karen Reed, to be honest with you, and where it's unfortunate and that she shouldn't have been, she's not going to get the treatment in jail, right? She needs, postpartum needs mental health treatment. You're not going to get that in jail. So I fully support her not being in there, right? But she still pulled a weapon. Pulled a weapon on an officer. It doesn't matter if you were going to shoot yourself, shoot the ground, shoot the window. You pulled a weapon in front of an officer. What the fuck did you think was going to happen, right? Like, hello? Like, there was someone the other day who was saying something like, we don't know everything in that case, and we don't, right? And there's everybody still jumping on this bandwagon already. And it's like, you don't know everything. It's not even about pro or not pro, right? Like, there's no reason for her to be in jail. You know, and that is sad, right? That is sad. And I feel like it was a consequence, though, of all of that nonsense. And, you know, I don't think any mother with postpartum should be separated from their baby like that. There should be, you know, things put in place. But there are points where it gets to, as we saw in the Lindsay Clancy case, where maybe it's safer if the child is not around the person who's having, especially if it's about harming the child itself, right? If the Lindsay Clancy case can be looked at in any way, we can look at the fact that she was on medication, she was getting treatment, and that still happened, right? And so no mother, and most first-time mothers deal with postpartum. I had the baby, I didn't have it like the way other people have described. Even my sister had it way worse. I had more like the baby blues with it, with my first child. I never had it again after that, but it still sucks, right? Like, it still sucks. I never had it to the extent that others did. It was more just like stressy and depressing, like sad, you know? It was more like regular depression, but like after you have a baby. And they call that sort of like the baby blues, right? But it can go all the way to the other end of the spectrum and be like, you want to hurt your child, like that, all the way down to the other side. And that is unfortunate, right? But you do have to take into account everything that happened. So you pulled a weapon. It didn't matter if you were going to shoot yourself, shoot the floor, shoot the window, pull the weapon with an officer there. So you got shot in the chest. Couldn't do the scram. Cool. Bradel should have went and got the fucking what kind of actual attorney doesn't bring the medical documentation with them? Any attorney I know brings that shit with them. It's like stamped, it's coded, it's put in a completely separate file because it has protections, because it's medical, and you only bring it out if necessary. Oh yeah, she definitely had a psychotic breakdown. But my point is Lindsay Clancy was getting treatment, right? She was on multiple medications, probably too many in my opinion, but she was, quote, what you would call getting treatment, right? Like, and because it wasn't getting any better, that happened. I think she was on too many medications, in my opinion. But nonetheless, I mean, it was Bradel that failed her. It wasn't the judge. The judge might have been harsh in her words, right? and harsh in her ruling, but her ruling was not unjust. It was not unconstitutional. It was not outside of the wheelhouse of what any other judge could have done in that scenario. You're trying to remove 2 out of the 3 agreements that she made to be let out to begin with in 3 days of her being let out. And then Bradel did not help himself by going in there and being like, that's cruel and unusual punishment. Well, if you thought it was cruel and unusual punishment, sir, why didn't you bring medical documentation to say the scram hurt her? You fucking buffoon. If I was Kelsey, I'd have fired that asshole. Because he cares more about performance for the cameras than he does his damn client. Even when he defends Aiden, it's just narrative. I hear very little legal arguments coming out of him. It's pointing fingers. And at one point during one of Aiden's cases, he actually turned around to the audience sitting in the court. And the judge had to be like, I'm over here. Who the fuck does that as an attorney? I mean, are you all right, bro? Are you all right turning around to the audience as this performative stance? Like, and the judge is like, hi, I'm the one you need to make the argument to, sir. Not these fucking people, me. Not me, I'm the court. Like, what in the actual fuck? I think that's part of it. And that's a problem, though. That's a problem. We need to recognize when a fair and just ruling is made, even if you don't like the way the judge said it or did it, right? Like, there was nothing that wasn't inside the legal wheelhouse that judge could do. And also, I see a lot of, like, pieces being taken out where it's like, okay, yeah, it's a little bit Bradel's fault, but it's the judge's fault, too. The judge could have been less harsh in her words, but really that's it. She had every legal right to send her back. And that's Bradel's fucking fault. Because I don't think the judge would have done all that if he had brought in the fucking medical documentation. But you don't have to be in violation of your bond. You know what I mean? You don't have to be in violation of your bond. Her attorney was moving to have 2 of the 3 bail conditions removed. When you're let out in Massachusetts or really in any other state, when you're let out and they agreed to those conditions 3 days ago. That's the judge's thing. It's like, you guys agreed to these conditions 3 days ago, right? And if the scram testing and she was in pain, he should have just brought a letter from the doctor. It would take him 1 phone call, dude. Fax it over to his office, email it to him. It didn't matter. Just like send it. That's it, right? Bradel didn't just try to remove the scram testing. He tried to remove another condition. You're agreeing to those conditions when you're allowed out. So when an attorney goes within the next 3 days you're let out and asks for 2 of those conditions to be removed, no conditions, no release, right? They have to have those conditions to release you. That's what they did. You had to agree to those, right? So if there's no conditions, there's no release. And if you want to like switch one condition for another, you have to prove to the court that needs to happen. I don't doubt that the scram testing was hurting her and she was in pain. She was shot in the fucking chest. You know what I mean? Like, I can barely breathe. You know, after I had COVID, like, I can barely fucking breathe as it is. One reason why I quit smoking is because my lungs were damaged from COVID. But this was clear. Like, Bradel didn't do his job, and that's what fucked her. He didn't go and get the medical that said, okay, she can't do the scram. Can she do urine instead? He essentially just said to the court, oh, the PO agrees with me, so cool. That's not the fucking way it works. You still have to prove it to the judge. You have to, what the PO says is completely irrelevant. They give input. The judge decides all the time to go against what a PO wants or says. All the time. Literally all the fucking time. The PO has no standing in a legal case other than, okay, they agree with me or they don't agree with me. You still have to show the court, right? They can't just take your word for it. And I think one of the big problems is Bradel is up for the BBO right now on a case where he held evidence while he was a prosecutor and a person spent decades in jail. And everybody on planet Earth knows that, including that judge, because that's public knowledge. And you can watch the hearings. They're public. So, yeah, they deal in facts and law. They don't deal in emotions, right? Like, when you agree to those specific things to be let out and your attorney tries to remove 2 of them, and when you've been out 3 days, that's a red flag to the court that you just tried to get them out and now you want to remove all the conditions. That is a red flag to the court that you as an attorney are playing fuck. It's even a bigger red flag when you then don't bring any medical documentation of what you're claiming, and then you proceed to proclaim in front of cameras that it is cruel and unusual punishment, as if the judge is doing that to her. What? Yeah, they don't deal, and like, that's not fair. And that's not the way it works, right? The judge was well within their right. Should she have been as crass? Probably not, right? I wouldn't have been, but, and I agree that she was probably in pain from the scram. And well, that's the thing. He didn't ask for that alternative testing in his motion to the court. He didn't ask for it in his motion to the court at all. He only asked for it right after the judge already had ruled from the bench. And he was like, no, wait, it's not the way it works. You have to actually bring medical documentation, right? That's not, when you're doing that after the judge rules, the judge sees it as like, now, again, you're just playing fuck, They can't go on emotion. He should do some investigative reporting on his own fucking attorney. I will tell you firsthand knowledge that Mr. Bradel has done some pretty sketchy shit. He has lied to the court multiple times. He has hid Aiden's devices with knowledge of where they were and lied to the court about it. Mr. Bradel himself, I don't know how already hasn't lost his fucking law license for the shit that he does, to be honest with you. He's a sketchy fucking character. Not as sketchy as Mr. Betterow and his need for attention. That shit drives me bonkers, right? Like he's jumping on every YouTube channel he can while telling everyone else internet isn't the real life and trying to make excuses for his client. Bro, you don't need to make an excuse every time your client does something. Just shut up. Just say nothing. Yes, it's embarrassing. Your client's fucking embarrassing, sir, okay? I actually have a Yelp review from 4 years ago from Betterow, from another high-profile case of a person who put him, hold on, here it is right here. Afternoon. Okay, this is the review from Yelp for Betterow, okay? This is what it says. It says, and this is 4 years ago, so this is before any of the Karen Reed stuff, like before, right? It says, don't hire him, media predator beware. Jokes then. That jumps right out at you. That's like the top part. Okay. Oh boy. Oh, you was? Well, I'm here. Here I am. Okay, so it says, I came to him for help with a case I was arrested in June of this year. So this, again, 4 years ago. This case slow dragged as if it was desperate and I was desperate for representation. Mark came on board and I disclosed the matters of the case where I informed him about some private matters about the arrest. He was informed about a reporter on the case, waiting until the case was dismissed and sealed first. Then the plan was to go forward to the media and disclose things. Once Mark, the media guy, came on board this case, things shifted to the story of reporting things to the media, opposed to getting this criminal case dismissed, and quite frankly, I was disappointed and confused. We had multiple disagreements with this matter. It led to me firing him officially on 9/25, and I believe after that, he purposely allowed the reporter to still report the case with knowingly false allegations against me to make the story big for his own publicity. The DA already agreed to open an investigation against the cop involved, so I really saw no need to continue anything with the media and just focus on the criminal matter to get this dismissed so I can move on. But, some lawyers have their own intentions when they see a case they can benefit from publicity-wise. Just beware of attorneys that focus more on publicity rather than the matter at hand. I'm in a nightmare right now. That was a Yelp review from Dora J. 4 years ago on Betterow. What? I won't let you chat? Oh, for the love of God. Well, I mean, people who are free hear and read are not allowed in certain places, right? Like, I'm not allowed in certain places. How dare I? I mean, even when I chat in Mike's chat, just to like say hi to everyone and like, show my support against, I listened to a little bit of Mike this morning. I'm a little disappointed, just a little. I'm a little disappointed. Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are. And you're in Florida, so it's a good afternoon. A little disappointed because I don't think Mike needs to apologize for calling out something that he probably should have called out a really long time ago. You did. That's so weird. That's strange. Let me talk to somebody about that. Do you know, is your screen name's the same, right? I'm assuming. Did they like time you out or like boot you completely? Like, let me write your screen name down. I'm not saying I can do anything because, to be fair, I'm not part of the cool kid club over there because I have, conversations with people who are FKR and I have civil discussions, and that's apparently a no-no these days. Screaming and yelling at each other and telling each other we're idiots is a better idea, apparently. I don't know. Girl, listen, I totally agree with that. It's like donating. It's funny. Every time I go to a place, it's like, would you like to donate $1 to Children's Hospital? I'm like, listen, I basically lived there with my daughter for many years and continue to do so 21 years later because she's got a rare disease. And let me just tell you, okay, the monthly charge for parking, even for families, even when they lowered it a little, is still like 20 something dollars a day. Like I donate plenty to Children's Hospital. No, no. But you are 100% right, Allie. It is like, I agree with you. I mean, listen, I can definitely ask someone over there. I know one reasonable person over there that I could probably speak to and see what they can do. I can't promise anything because once again, because I have civil discussions, some people don't like that. Not timed out. Weird. So like, can you comment and just no one answers, or can you not comment at all? That's weird. It's really strange. Because they should be able to to be fair, some people just ignore the comments in their chat. If I did that, I'd probably make way more money, but I choose not to do that because I actually enjoy you guys. So you guys make great points and stuff. So I refuse to do that. You're not allowed to chat. Yeah, that means that you are like booted out. That's weird. That is really strange. Hmm. I mean, I think I wrote your thing down right here so I don't forget to do it after the stream. But I will absolutely reach out to someone. Oh. And it still won't let you. That's so strange. That's weird. That's definitely fucking weird. I don't know. Yeah, it could be accidental. Like sometimes but if you're not chatting at all, then how the fuck do you get booted? Unless, so the only other way I can think of that is like if one of the people who are like running it has blocked you previously. So for instance, if I'm in Mike's chat and I see someone like the fucking Glyer, like I did earlier, you can hit the block button. Bye, see you later, right? Blocking you because you are a vile piece of human garbage. And when I do that, I don't need to deal with him anywhere else, I don't know. Well, what does it matter? I have not this morning. No. Well, to be fair, she was in Discord this morning saying that she was watching the replay from last night. I only didn't bother her with last night because I know she goes to bed early, and it was kind of like a last minute choice to do that stream because I don't usually work Saturday. So I was like, I'm not going to bother Jessie. Like she's usually in bed by now. But I haven't. No, I haven't. I sent her a text message. I don't know. Listen. Sometimes on Sundays, I know she's like, I'm going to tell her we're going to send smoke signals. We're going to send smoke signals for you. All right, let me know. Let me know. Yeah, that's not cool. I agree. I agree that it's not. Wallflower's gonna call me. I'm annoyed. Sometimes it takes her a minute to get back on like a weekend if she's doing something with her family or whatever. She does a lot of running around with her family, so I try not to be like a bug, you know. Sometimes they do. Do you get any message when you type, Allie? At all, or like is the box completely gone so like you can't even like type in the box? Because if the box isn't even there and you can't type for chat, like that means you've been like blocked completely, not timed out, not like I mean, here's the thing, man, right? Like I'm not going to stop being civil because some quote antis don't like it. I'm not going to do that, right? But I'd hate get anyone, you know, have to wait 3 days. What the actual fuck? I mean, that could just be accidental. So that could be, oh, and you've never chatted though. Oh, that is fucking weird. Because we haven't heard from Josie, that's why. We're trying to figure out if she's on. Someone complained that they are hypocrites. Well, the problem is like if you're having those very same civil discussions with people on spaces privately, like where the fuck, what the actual fuck, you know what I mean? That makes no goddamn sense. It just doesn't. Like, listen, I am going to have civil discussions. Throwing hate around did absolutely fucking nothing. So if people want to continue doing that, that's on them, right? I'm not going to do that anymore. It does nothing. It helps nobody. Exactly 0 people does it actually help. And so for me, it doesn't make sense to continue smashing, bashing people around into oblivion. It just really doesn't. For no real reason other than like, oh, they, you know, so, oh God. Ugh. Excuse me. It is odd. If you've never chatted, right? How the fuck do you get blocked? The only reason the only way I can, because it can't be accidental if you're never in the chat, right? So how the fuck does that happen? The only way that I can think of that happens is if someone who's running one of the channels or it's connected to, they blocked you in a different chat. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's fucked if I know. But these days, Allie, anything can happen. You know? I'm gonna be uncivilized as Val said so. You know what Val also said? Pick me, pick me. Pay attention to me. I'm a pick me bitch. Like, bro, listen. She was all up in like, listen, she's my new stage 5 clinger. Okay. My new stage 5 clinger. She's obsessed with me and MLF Pink Lady for some weird godforsaken reason. I went to voicemail. Like right to voicemail? Maybe her phone died. That might be why. If her phone died. Weird. No, but I'm saying if you say, for instance, you're here, right? And you're chatting here, and one of them is watching, right? And they're like, oh, they're in Twisted's chat, and so I don't like that. Or you're in a different chat, and they're like, I don't like that thing that they said, right? Guess what? They can use the block feature on you from their personal account. If their account is set up to their channel, that can happen. She can totally share that pic. That's a really good picture. I'm just saying, I have like 1 million of them, but it's a totally good picture. I mean, she's just jealous. I mean, that's what it seems like. How obviously I can't be for sure, Allie, but that's weird to me. Like, you know, like it's really strange to me while that would happen because I'm still friends with some of the Alberts and I don't think that they would appreciate that, you know? So just saying, girl, listen, I know, okay? Listen, those are back in my dancing days. Listen, dude, okay? I am fucking 39. Am I supposed to still look like I did when I was 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 20? Am I still supposed to look like that? No, I would never do that. I would never do that to any other woman. But to be fair, I posted that picture. I don't give a fuck. I posted it. Like, someone else said something like, I forget, John Barron said something called someone like a stripper. And I was like, hey. The only stripper around here was me, sir. Okay. Don't be playing. It was like a joke, right? And so I posted that picture. Like, there, see? Proof. Positive. There it is. I'm sorry, Allie. I'm sorry. Listen, I would never. But she can share whatever stripper pictures with me she wants. There's plenty out there, darling. There's actually a couple videos of me dancing too, doing a lot of acrobatics. I mean, hey, find them. Find them. I'm sorry, Allie. That sucks. You know, I mean, this is what I mean, though. Like, this is what I mean. When we play this really shitty game of who to like better and who to disparage, and, you know, and this is part of my issue with that whole thing, is when you're actively taking steps to withhold support from people for no reason other than, like, this person in your group doesn't, quote, like them. So they're telling everyone, don't talk to this person. And Julie's there, she can attest to this, right? If you're being told, don't talk to this person, don't support this person, because that person doesn't like them, and they're telling everyone else not to do it, right? What are we, fucking 5? No one can, like, reach out and, like, have a conversation. If you have a problem with something I said or did, maybe, here's an idea, reach out. I've answered every single person that's ever reached out if they didn't reach out, like, trying to call me names or being insulting for no reason, you know? And so for me, because I used to be a dancer, and Val keeps putting out my pictures of when I was dancing. No, girl, no. No. I was a dancer for a long time, way back in the day. I'm too old now, Jesus Christ. But Val's obsessed with me. She keeps putting out my old pictures back then. Like, okay, cool, you know? Yeah, I mean, is that supposed to insult me in some way? Is that supposed to insult me? I'm just wondering. I can't see your picture. I can't. But from the little one that I can see, you look beautiful in that picture, Allie. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Listen, I posted the picture originally. John Marin made some joke about something. And I was like, hey, bro, like, about a dancer. And I was like, bro, the only dancer here is me, sir. Stop it. Knock it off. It was in, like, a thread. And, like, if I didn't, like, care, I wouldn't have posted it. Fucking buffoon. Like, I don't care, right? And then she took a picture from me, like, way back in the beginning of, like, the trial when I was on steroids. Because, again, I have a lot of health issues. I was on steroids, so I had, like, excess weight. I also have a lot of health issues. So I'm probably, like, right now, maybe about, like, 35 pounds over my normal weight, just in, like, water weight from the medications and stuff. Back then, it was even more, right? So she, like, takes the two pictures and is like, difference. Like, dude, I'm 39. I've also had multiple children. Kind of know how that works, right? You know? Oh, Allie, and that's the thing, right? I don't, right? So because I don't matter, because I'm a quote poor person. You know what I mean? So I'm not important, because I don't have a big enough channel, and and because I'm not a rich person. So a lot of the time, the shit directed at me is really unnecessary, unneeded, unwarranted. And it's simply rumor, innuendo, speculation, a lot of people just trying to control who talks to who likes who has more attention. Like, this isn't a fucking competition. If there's, like, one person that needs to be helped, I don't care if it's me that does it. I don't care if it's you that does it. I don't care if we all come together and do it. Cool. However it gets done is good with me, dude. There's a reason that I have been a volunteer advocate for almost 20 fucking years. And I'll say that again, volunteer. I never got paid for any of the families or people that I have helped in the last 20 years, dude. And I continue to keep doing it till this day. Why? Because I fucking can, and because I have the knowledge to help these people, dude. If all they need is my time and knowledge and I can help them, why wouldn't I? And so many people have said to me, well, Elise, you do such great advocacy for these people. Why the fuck don't you get paid for what you do? And my answer remains the same. The people I help can't afford to pay me. They just can't. These are people in low income brackets, just like me, the working poor. They can't afford to pay me to help them, right? Like, so I just do it because it's the right fucking thing to do. You know, if all they need is my knowledge and a little bit of my time, I'm happy to help, right? Like, then with my knowledge that I teach them how to do it, if someone else needs that same thing that goes to them, usually they either can refer them back to me or they can help them themselves because they now know how to do it, right? And that makes my heart happy. It makes my heart happy, you know? Yeah, it wasn't a gotcha. It wasn't even a gotcha, not even a little. Like, dude, not only do I not hide that past, my fucking grandmother knew I was a dancer. Like, no secret there, lady. Sorry. No, deep pockets just really means like you have some money, whether it's old money or good money, old money or new money, I guess we'd call it. It's like it's a phrase. It's a phrase that means like I have money that I can do things with, which is like, I don't, that's, so it's like they just assume that like, the poor peasants like me have no, yeah, each one teach one. Exactly. That like, the poor peasants like me that don't have the money to fight them or fight the bad behavior, like we're not going to be able to. And I mean, it's true to a point. Even Aiden does that shit. He knows that like, I'm not going to file a defamation suit because I don't have the fucking money. I barely have the money to put groceries every week in my house. Okay. Sunday today is actually my, like one of my most paying shows. And we've been here 38 minutes and I haven't even dropped any of the donation information yet. You know what I mean? And, yeah, pay it forward. I love to do it, No, I didn't, but that's like bananas. A plant. Make it make sense. So last night, I mean, Meredith scrolled like this big long file. I think she said it was something like 5,000, was it 5,000 photos or 5,000 somethings. No, girl, listen, I feel you. I feel you. Believe me. Are you on X at all, Allie, or Facebook? Because I could probably explain like a little more privately, like some of the things that irk me about it all. I think Ray from Dallas. It's just the initials R F. I mean, girl, me too. Listen, I walked through the depths of hell. Okay, to be fair, this is the person right here that she's the one, her and another person, the night we did the first counter protest for John and the families, right? Because the night before that, and we didn't know who it was at the time, but we had just been told like one of the Free Care and Read people had gone to the place where the families were. It was like a VFW or whatever they had rented privately. And they were like saying they needed to be let in to use the bathroom and all that, right? So Julie here, we decided like that was over the line, right? Like at that point, that was over the line. We knew there were hundreds or even thousands of people down there. And we knew it was just going to be a small subset of us that were going to go down there, but we were going to fucking do it. And we didn't care that we had to walk through the depths of hell. We didn't care that I got assaulted, water got thrown on me, like a whole rigmarole. And I'm filming the entire time for my safety and for everybody else's. Thank fucking God I did. You've been doxxed? Oh no, that is not okay. Not okay. No. This is what I mean though. Like, and let me finish what I'm saying now, like, because maybe this will ring true for you, right? So we talked about, Julie did the set this up, right, the night before. She set this up the night before. And so we're like, okay, we're going to go down there and show our support for the families, for John, and how this was over the line. Going to where they were in a private event just to like, hackle them, like, no, not okay. So we went, right? And Julie did most of the like logistics of like, where, when, who, like, so it was like 10 of us or whatever. And we talked about ahead of time, like if we were asked like who did what, that our answer was going to be, it's a collective. There's no leader. We don't need a leader. There is no fucking leader. It's a collective community effort of people, period. Right. And to our disgust publicly about I don't know how many weeks or how many months later, someone else actually took the credit for doing that whole thing. Why you would take credit for something you didn't fucking do and that you weren't even really invited to, I don't know. But that happened, right? We didn't even want credit. We talked about if somebody had asked us, and we did not realize that we would be swarmed by media the way that we were. Me and Julie are like circle of media, and we're trying to like back out like slowly. And as we were trying to back out, like more and more, just tightening the circle around us, like we were not fucking prepared for that swarm of media at all, right? Like that is not what we went there for. We thought maybe there'd be one or two cameras. Cool, we don't really care about that. Like, and we talked about if we were asked. If we were asked, the answer was it's a collective effort. It's a collective effort. There's no fucking leader. There's no one person that's better than everyone. This is a collective effort of people, right? That's it. Okay. So, so here's the thing. We went, okay? We walked through the depths of fucking hell. We did what we needed to do. We found a spot. We talked to the cops to make sure it was okay that we were in that spot. Like whatever, right? Because this is the first time we're going over there. So we have no idea like where you can go, where you can't go, what you can do, what you can't do. And we did. So that's what we did, right? And so Jesus Christ, I mean, I could probably tell you, Allie, but obviously I wouldn't do it all that publicly because I'm not one to just like start a fucking ruckus for no real reason. But I'll tell you that a lot of the time there are projections where it's like, oh, it's just about attention. Like lately, I've been getting a lot of hate because I stood up for myself the other day, right? So the anti-side has been coming at me sideways because how dare I stand up for myself, right? And so I stood up for myself, and then it was, this is about attention for you. This is about all the projection, right? This is, if you're just mad that the families picked Kate, like, what? Like, first of all, what? Secondly, I'm friends with some of the Alberts. That just doesn't even make any fucking sense. When no one else when no one else thinks it's a competition, it's weird when like one person thinks it's not a fucking competition, right? Like it's not. No, I know it's not. But at the same time, like God forbid, I stick up for myself, right? Like I've stayed silent, and Julie can tell you for fucking almost 3 years about some of the shit that I've dealt with on my own quote side, right? Because I'm not one to sit here and start a problem for no real reason. But at what point am I allowed to say I've had enough? That point was the other day on Friday when I said I had fucking enough, right? Am I right? Exactly. Are we supposed to like apologize for just being like ourselves? I don't think we're supposed to. Like, we're not supposed to do that, you know? Like, but I just get this hate for, you know, 2026 saying enough is enough. Now this thing called boundaries, right? And sometimes I give people too much of the benefit of the doubt. It's just by nature. It's because I've been through a lot in my own life, so I can understand people sort of going through different things and having different scenarios happen because I've had a lot myself, right? And so maybe because of that, I give people too much, right? But at the same time, sorry for caring. Like I'm supposed to be sorry for that, right? Like sorry for being human, sorry for sticking up for myself, sorry for having boundaries. Like I'm not fucking sorry. I am not sorry for sticking up for myself. Am I supposed to apologize because my birth year makes me a boomer? I love that wallflower. I mean, listen, I'm just saying, I don't think the hating on other people is like the way to do it, right? And God forbid, here's the thing, what really pisses me off is you're singling me specifically out for having conversations with Free Karen Reed, civil ones, right? I will tell you privately, I've changed more people's minds in the last 3 months than I ever did in 3 years of saying, you suck. So what's that tell you, right? That the division and the hate didn't really work, right? You don't keep doing something that doesn't work. Common sense. Also, I'm not a hateful person. I'm just not in real life. And so it's an ick, okay? And so I'm just like, listen, Anybody can support whoever they want and not support whoever they want. I stand by your right to choose, right? You can be here in my chat and also be in other people's. That doesn't bother me any, right? Like it just doesn't. It just does not. But for me, what bothers me is if you're going to hold me to a different standard, then you hold yourself. If you're saying, I have no respect for you, or you suck because you're having, conversations on spaces or conversations in your chat with people who are free, hear, and read, then, you're a bad person or you suck or you're bad, right? All the while having private conversations with free, hear, and read. All the while one of your closest friends is doing the exact same thing. And you'll never hear Kim say, well, I don't have that respect for Tuesday. And I think Tuesday is wonderful. She's very kind and personable, and she comes on spaces and does civil conversations with free care and read and not free care and read. And you're not going to hear her say that to Tuesday, right? You're not going to hear her say that to Kate. You're not going to hear her say that and hold herself accountable for having those private conversations with them privately. So why am I being held to an account that you're not even holding yourself to? And why do I have to remain quiet about that and say nothing, or I'm the bad guy? So I should just allow someone to get on a spaces, say my name with vitriol and anger, as you can hear in the voice, and I'm supposed to continue to say nothing. Because I'm going to guarantee you that if it was me that did it, and I'm the one that said her name, I would be getting a whole huge hell of backlash. Elise, that wasn't nice. Elise, that wasn't kind. You don't see that same thing happening in the opposite direction. As a matter of fact, what you see is me getting the hate for me sticking up for myself. Well, God forbid I do that. God forbid I stick up for myself. It's a double standard. It shows you what mob mentality looks like. It shows you it can be anywhere, doesn't matter where. And I'm not down with that. I am not. Yeah, that's a weird one. That's a fucking weird one to me. That's a weird one. That's a weird one to me. I don't get it. I don't fucking get it. It just doesn't make sense. I'm not a person to say, why be mad though? Like, why is like that? Why is that such a problem? They don't get mad at Tuesday for having the civil conversations. I think Tuesday's wonderful. And she always comes in, thanks, and says, I'm glad to have these conversations. There needs to be a space for these conversations. So I just don't understand where the double standard is. Where's the double standard? Where does it come in? What am I allowed to do and not allowed to do? Because I'm me, just wondering. Because that's really the problem, isn't it? It's not about the civil conversations. It's about you wanted to pick on me. That's what it was really about, Like, let's be honest. If we're going to be fucking honest about what you're doing and how you're doing it, Like, shit. I just don't get it. I'm a very inclusive person. Like, I like people. I choose to like people. I don't know. It is nonsensical. And that's the same thing, twist everything. Oh, I have a $10 donation from PayPal, and it says, hey girl, happy Sunday, keep going. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. It's hard though. I'll tell you, it's fucking hard. It's hard. No, it's not even about who I'm talking to, because I have conversations with all people, like all sorts of people. Talk to Babs all the time. You gotta love Babs. We might not agree on the Karen Reed case, but we agree on a lot more. And here's the thing, right? Like, for me, I want to make sure Aiden can never do this again. There will be another time that someone will do this again, and he will. Oh, Jesse's okay. Okay, thank God. She was doing something. Okay. We were worried. Here's the thing. There is no real reason to be nasty and mean. Oh, good. Okay, well, we just needed to make sure you were okay. Made us a little nervous. You don't always have to be here. That's why I didn't bother you last night, because it was kind of like, out of nowhere that I did that stream. And I was like, oh, she's usually running around her family and in bed by now. I'm not going to bother her. Okay, good. Perfect. Just want to make sure. I don't expect you're always here, because, that's a tall order, my friend. But, just want to know you're okay. That's it. now I can woosa. Well, that's the thing, Casey, is a lot of these people never actually bothered to get to know me as a person. They took someone else's opinion of me and adopted that without bothering to get to know me in any real way at all. And That's kind of the problem, isn't it? Like, isn't that how mob mentality works? Anyone? Reply? Isn't that how it works? I believe it is. I believe that's exactly how it works. Is you have this sort of mob mentality, and one person gives their opinion of everyone else, and everyone else adopts that opinion. If you're doing that same behavior, how the fuck can you call it out on the other side? Make it make sense, right? Make it make sense, please, for the love of God. I've watched all the anti-Karen shows. This is where I'm staying. Oh, I love that, Parker. Listen, I just want nothing more than to people to be civil with each other, have adult conversations, and you don't have to like everyone, right? You don't have to have those conversations with everyone, but respect the fact that some of us don't want to live in a world of toxicity and hate, right? And respect that, like, inroads are being made. Respect that I would like, and other people would like, to make sure this never happens to any other O'Keefe family ever again. Right? Being called Mrs. O'Keefe the C word, guys. That is deplorable. She is a murder victim's mother. Mother. Okay? When would that ever be acceptable or okay? I sent out smoke signals. I love you. I said that to her in text. I said, me and Wallflower are gonna have to send out smoke signals, you know? But that's the problem. It's strategic, it's purposeful, and I have to fight it from both sides. Like, both sides, you know? He did not. He absolutely did not have letters from the doctors. He absolutely 100% did not have any letters from the doctors saying that she could not do the scram device. He had the word of the PO. That is what he had. So you are actually incorrect. Believe me, I've done all the research. He did not have the doctor's letters for the scram device. He did not. He did not go in prepared. That first day when she got sent back to jail, he had no doctor's letters. The judge specifically asked him that question. He did not have it. And I get it, Mimi. I believe me, I did all the research. He wanted it changed at the very end. He wanted it changed, but that is not what he put in his motion to the court. See, there's the difference: is you cannot just say it at the end when the judge is ruled from the bench. It has to be like, if it's not in your motion, then you want to make it in your argument, right? He didn't do that. He absolutely 100% didn't bring in the medical documentation to show that the scram was hurting. And I don't discount that it absolutely probably was. She was shot in the chest, you know? But it was Bradle that didn't do his job there. He did not bring a letter from the doctor saying she cannot do the scram, that it is hurting her. And that is what they needed. That is what he needed, you know? Football. You better keep me apprised. Wait, what time is the game on today? Yeah. You know, sometimes I wish, you know, I think everybody knows the channel. I'm pretty sure everyone knows the channel. And that's fine. I mean, that's fine. We don't have to agree. You know, that's the point, though, is that God forbid, right? Like, I have any other civil conversation with anyone. Game's at 4. Thank you. Yeah, what was needed was something saying the scram device is hurting her, so she cannot do it. It can't just be like, here's a letter saying she did the scram, or here's a letter. Like, it needs to, like, he did not have the proper documentation from the doctor that you would need, that he should have known as an attorney that you would need to ask to take something away like that. He absolutely 100%. Listen, girl, listen, let it out. I feel you. Okay. I feel you on all of it. Like, let it all out. Like, I had to the other day, and now I'm getting massive hate for it because I had to let it out. You know what I mean? Like, we only have so much before we're like, all right, this is my limit here, right? Like, this is my limit. You know, this is my fucking limit. My limit is here. And when I go over my limit, it is now, I'm done now, you know? Oh, I love that one. So that's the thing. You cannot use someone as John's death as a sword and a shield at the same time. You can't say that people who are having conversations are doing something disrespectful to John or his family. And then you can't say that people who are on, you know, the family side, that they're doing something disrespectful by not doing what you want them to do. That's using him as a sword and a shield. That's not acceptable. First of all, nobody should be using his name for anything. No matter what I do or say, it has nothing to do with disrespecting John. That's just insane. That is bonkers to even use that as a way to, like, make a point. Like, oh, well, you're doing this, so it's disrespectful to John. John's no longer here. We can't bring him back. I wish we could. If we could, I would bippity boppity him back right now, right? We can't. But to say someone's, because I'm making inroads or having conversations with people that's disrespecting. I mean, stop it. So let's fucking stop the gaslighting, for the love of fucking God. It's a little ridiculous, Yes, the judge did. Judge asked specifically, Yeah, I don't think Wallflower does know it. Jessie might, just because she's my mom. She does, extra research for me. But I don't think Wallflower would know the channel. Most people know of it, at least, but it's fairly new, too. But Parker's right? The whole goal is to, stop this from ever happening again to other people, including the O'Keefe family. Peggy didn't deserve that, It's just not what was needed. It's just not. You're totally welcome. Not at all okay, at all. Something? The twusband, everyone. The twusband. Oh, Allie, I say it all the time. No good deed goes unpunished, and I feel that literally deep into my soul. I feel it probably more than you even understand at this point. Sometimes it's just a small group of people that cause a huge fucking problem for no real reason. No real reason. Or you can't figure out exactly what the reason would be, other than some weird control tactic or, things that they project onto you. And it's like, it's not about fucking attention because people want to attack me. And I'm like, it's about attention and who. No, it's about giving everyone freedom to be human while also not doing things like blaming people who are sticking up for themselves. Because again, if I had done what she did, I would be getting the same pushback from anti-free Karen Reed. I would be getting told I was awful and terrible, and that was so mean for me to say. Why would I do that unprovoked? But that's not what you're seeing them say to her. As a matter of fact, they're acting like she's the victim, right? It doesn't matter what I do. If there's a fault in it, And that just goes to show you that there's an alternative motive there. And it's unfortunate. Because for me, it's not, I don't give a fuck about controlling who likes who or who's friends with who, or that doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is making sure no other people get hurt and stopping someone from hurting everyone else. That's what matters to me. Making sure this can't fucking happen again, and making sure that the people who have been hurt feel like they're supported, know that they're not fucking alone, right? That's important to me. That is the important thing, We're glad that you found us too, Jackie. We are glad that you found us as well. And I hope that many other people do, but a lot of the time I'm fighting against essentially both sides. I'm fighting against Aiden telling everyone I'm the devil, everyone's crazy, everyone's the devil. And then I have to fight against my own side, spreading privately rumors and lies about me so they can control who likes who talks to who. So what? I don't understand why anyone would do that. It's fucking weird to me. I would never do that. So forgive me if I don't understand why anyone would do shit like that. It's really, so I'm essentially fighting, both sides because I won't conform to what some people want me to be or want me to do or say. I'm not part of a cult or a mob. Nobody's going to tell me what I can say or what I can do or who I need to be. I know who I am. I don't need anyone else to fucking tell me. I'm a human with flaws, like everyone else. I'm a flawed human, Oh, the channel? No, it's just like a channel that was just started not that long ago. 4 ladies do it. I know Judge Krupp needs to give us an answer. I don't know what Judge Krupp is doing, taking so long. Yeah, I believe that's where I first encountered you, Allie, was Kevin's channel. I used to peek in there all the time, Well, that's the thing, is they've been breaking it, and yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not okay, People were heavily brainwashed, and coming together is an important fucking thing. Like crossing it, like, I mean, that's a murder victim's mother, you know? Yeah, you're on the nose, Allie. You're on the nose. You're on the nose. I'm so sick of hearing that. It's so ridiculous. Like, listen, I have a platform. If I wanted attention, I could shock jock if I wanted. I could just make shit up like Aiden does, right? I could create a whole entire ridiculous, nonsensical bullshit if I wanted to, if it was about attention or jealous. To me, it seems like the people saying that are the people projecting it on to us. I don't give a fuck what you do or don't do. My concern is about who gets helped and how can we help them. How can we stop it from happening to other people, and how can we help the ones that need help without acting like they don't exist, right? I'm not for it acting like other people don't exist and Aiden doesn't have other victims. Sorry, not sorry. I'm never going to be for that. Too many of the victims reach out to me personally, and I will never not have people's backs when they've been victimized. That is what I did long before I ever started a YouTube channel, for fucking 15 years before I ever had one. And I continue to do until this very fucking day. I will never stop trying to help people, right? It's a cult behavior. So it's a mob mentality. I don't give a fuck what side is doing it. I'm not going to sit here and pretend it's not happening. I did, yeah, we played it. It is long. Not anything I didn't know, though. A lot of the stuff was just her sort of reiterating a lot of the stuff we already knew. But just like reiterating it on YouTube, because not everybody has YouTube, right? Like a lot of it happens on X. But it was good. And MLF, Pink Lady was on with her. Her name's also Meredith, so it's like Meredith too. Yeah, Aiden's a horrible person, you know? I do have the best members and the best chat and the best, even, you know, as small as my channel is, I am extremely proud of the people that coexist here, you know? So there was like Holly said, she kind of read some of it, of one of them, and then stopped. And I don't blame her either, because it's like, it's not, you know, who I am. Yeah, well, exactly. If that's what we wanted, we would just conform and then we would get all of that. You know what I mean? Like all of the things they project is all the things I would do if I would just conform and do, or at the very beginning, and just did what everyone wanted and bow down. I'm not going to fucking bow down to anybody. There's nobody I need to bow down to. I'm not a follower. I'm not a sheep. You know, I do my own thing, just like all of you. All of you choose to be here. All of you choose to be also in other chats. Maybe that even, you know, bump up against each other's beliefs. But you have your own critical thinking skills. You know where you want to be, where you don't want to be. And nobody needs to tell you where you want to be or where you don't want to be, right? Like there's plenty of times where they'll be like, they'll see some people in my chat and they'll go to those people and be like, oh, you're in Twisted's chat. It's a way to try to disparage people and get them to like go away. It's a way to fuck with my livelihood, in which I love that they're doing that at the moment, because I don't make shit to begin with. So all you're really doing is taking food off my table. And if that makes you feel proud, then I guess go for it, dude. I'm a small channel. I make next to nothing. I am not a 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, 60,000 sub channel. I'm a tiny fucking channel, and I built that bitch brick by brick. I didn't ride off anybody else's coattails. I didn't need anybody else's channel to help me get subs. I fucking built it one by one by one by one by one, and I can be proud of that, knowing that I didn't skyrocket 10,000 subs from this person or that person that I now need to bow down to. Fuck that. See, and that's the problem they seem to have with me, Holly, is that I have this compassion for people that they would never. On both sides, they have that issue. And it's like, sorry, I am who I am. I have empathy. I have kindness. I have sympathy, like, and maybe more than I probably should. But I've been through a lot in my own life. And so it gives me this understanding of where someone else could be at, you know? She did, and she did some of it. Some of it is really like graphic. I'll tell you that much. And maybe not for consumption, except like individually, you know? I wouldn't. She did do good as a first timer. I think they both did good as a first timer. I mean, it's hard to start figuring out all the controls. The most important ones really are just like the comments, the letting in and out people, the like look of the layout, and sharing your screen. You know? Yeah, I mean, he was in Mike's chat this morning trying to cause a ruckus, really. She has more, but I don't necessarily think she's going to read them because some of them are really bad. Some of them are really bad, like really bad, you know? Yeah, I like Chris. All hail Juan Koala. All hail Juan Koala. I'm gonna have to tell that's his name, his tag on Twitter right now is Juan. I have to tell him that people were shouting out Chris the Juan Koala. See, I don't have any other accounts. I have one account, just the one. I never felt the need to make another one. You know, I felt like if I need to say something, I want to say it with my chest. I want to say it from me and that everyone knows it's coming from me, you know? Um, I know there is more, but I don't necessarily know if she'll read them, you know? And I think because, yeah, there was some, you know, almost in tears talking about it and how she could relate to somebody releasing something like that. But I mean, he ain't going to give anyone that grace. Let's be honest about it, you know? Hi, Pepper. Well, that's the thing. I'm not about this whole like we're gonna hate people for no fucking reason. It's weird. I'm done. I'm over it. Like it's counterproductive at this point. If you're banging your head against a brick wall and nothing is changing, why would you continue banging your head off that wall? Why not walk around the wall, burst through the wall, go over the wall? But continuing to bang your head off that wall doesn't make logical sense to me. I'm just saying. That's just my opinion. You know. I agree, Parker. I agree with that for sure. You know, and I love that about my community is that they do check on each other, you know, quality, not quantity, you know. Yeah, he is. He's just got a different tag now. Um, yeah, I agree with that. That's the one thing that I just don't agree with, you know, this whole like, you know, box tie. Okay, I use box tie. I'm a fucking poor person. Okay. I'm not a rich person. This whole like, if I have money, I'm better than you thing. I'm not down with that. I'm just not. That's the one thing I will never say. Listen, I've had it all and I've had nothing, right? When I was a dancer, I had plenty of money. It's coming out my ears, dude. But I also took care of a bunch of other people. I made sure that like my friends who worked regular jobs and didn't, you know, they had basically all their money was gone after bills, like me right now. But I made sure that they were taken care of. I made sure that like if I was going to go shopping, they were coming with me and I was going to pay for it. If I was going to go on a trip, they were coming and I was going to pay for it. Like I wanted everyone else to enjoy it too, you know? Like, and so I spent a lot of fucking money back then, but I at least can say I have a lot of goddamn good memories from it. And I am glad that I shared it. I'm glad. Like, could I have saved it? Probably. And I'd probably have a car right now, right? I probably wouldn't be struggling, but maybe I wouldn't have made those memories. And those memories matter so much to me. You never know when it's your last day on this earth. And sometimes you just have to live, right? Sometimes you just have to live because my dad right now doesn't have the opportunity to continue living, being with his grandbabies or me. So hence one of the reasons why I take him everywhere with me in with his ashes in this necklace is because I want my dad with me everywhere I go. I want him to experience even if he's not physically here with me, him to experience everything I experience together, you know? And for me, you know, it sucks because I've been on both sides. I've been on the having money and I've been on the not having money. And it doesn't make you more intelligent to have more or less money. It doesn't make you more pretty to have more or less money unless you're getting work done. You know, like it doesn't change who you are unless you allow it to. You know, having more money doesn't automatically make you better than anyone. I just don't. That kind of thinking kind of irks me a little because I've had money. It didn't make me better than anyone. I was still me. Yeah, he's bad. He's pretty bad. You know. Yeah, he went after heels. The way he went after heels was horrible. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's just bad. It's just shitty. Hey, Sharon. I don't blame you. A lot of people stick with YouTube these days and just don't bother with some of the other. Money can change people. Yes, absolutely. Um, yeah, no, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly, you know? And me too, girl. Listen, me too. And I have not much to give. But if I feel like you know, for instance, say I have 150 bucks left in my bank account, right? And I know that I need that whole 150 bucks for groceries. But I have a friend that has $0 in her account. And I know that she, um, you know, No, girl. It's not about you. That's not about you. This is about last night. We were watching the Meredith's stream, and there were a couple comments made about, she probably uses box dye or something like that. I pay a lot of money to have my hair done. And it was like comments like that people were kind of like, like, what does that matter? It wasn't you. It had nothing to do with you saying anything at all. It had nothing to do with you. We were referring back to the thing we were watching last night. But I mean, I agree with you. Like, so if I know that my friend has nothing, right? Like, then I'll probably take $50 of that and give it to her, because even though it's $50 less for me, she has something. She had nothing, now she has something, even if it's just a little bit, Like, that's just how I feel about it. Yeah, no, not you. It was referring back to, we weren't talking about you, Ellie. We were referring back to what we were watching last night. And I was agreeing with Parker's comment. Listen, when there's nothing left to save, Holly, you know what I mean? Listen, if everything you get goes right back out, groceries. And listen, I don't even have cable. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm bare minimum here. Like, bare minimum. Bare minimum. So when paying, and that's the thing, is some of us, I know some of you don't, but a lot of us live here in Massachusetts. And the rents are extremely high here. Extremely, extremely high. And thank you. But you know me in real life. You know what I mean? Like, not everybody here, knows me in real life or the way that I am in real life. I know, and I love that. And I love it. But for me, it's like Allie said, I have to feel good, right? About when I wouldn't donate to, like, so for instance, I take the clothes that my daughter no longer, like, they don't fit her, and I give them to my neighbor, because my neighbor has 4 kids. And he's working 2 jobs. They're barely scraping by. They have, house mortgage and, everything. If something's broken, it's all on them, right? They have a broken window right now, they can even fix. And so it's like, damn, fuck, like, how can I help, right? Like, I can't help monetarily because I'm in the same boat. But the like the window, for instance, I have a friend who, like, there's a storage company that will give her units if people don't claim them, like, after auction. And I said, hey, will you keep an eye out for, like, a window that they could, get that will fit for them. And so I have her, like, keeping an eye out for a window, but I take all the clothes that doesn't fit my little anymore and I pass them over to them, because I know it's going to help someone that needs that help, right? And I feel good about that. I can't take my stuff down to, like, Salvation Army, where they're going to reprice it and resell it, even to people who are poor. If they're selling a shirt for $3 and you could buy that same shirt at Walmart brand new for $3, why the F would anybody buy it at Salvation Army? And then I just let them take my free items and sell them to people, when I could have just given it to someone for free that needed it, right? And so it's just a way. I would rather, like, give to a person than give to, like, I don't give a fuck about a tax write-off. You know what I mean? A lot of people give to, like, charities because, like, also they can do it as a tax write-off. I don't give a fuck about a tax write-off. I care about helping people, right? I don't give a shit about whether it's a tax write-off or not. Could care less. I want it to help people, right? Like, that's the whole fucking point. But I'm like, Allie, you want to feel good about what you're doing and who you're helping, and you want to believe in it, Like, dude, listen. Oh, it is high here in Massachusetts. Pay over $2,000 just in rent alone a month. That's not including the utilities, and then groceries, and then basics like toilet paper, shampoo, conditioner, things like that. Or I have no laundry facilities here, so I have to go to a laundromat. I don't have a car, so then I also have to pay for an Uber to and from, and then also pay for the laundry, or pay for a ride and then pay for the laundry. So, you know what I mean? Like, there is nothing left after that, See, that's the thing. Nowadays, when you buy a house, even here, unless you're, like, putting half down, like, rent is supposed to be cheaper than a mortgage payment. And right now, that's not true in my state, unfortunately, Yeah, a lot of us do talk one-on-one, you know? I know. Listen, I'm telling you, if I had any, like, I didn't get any grocery gift cards or anything crazy like that for Christmas, or I would have passed you along it because, believe me, I feel that. I feel that pain. Yeah, I just, I give them to people I know that are going to need them or use them. Like, it's the right thing to do, in my opinion. I mean, people are like, why don't you put it on Macari and sell it? You can make a couple extra bucks. And they're right. I'm poor. I probably should, but it just doesn't feel right. For me, it feels right to give it to someone else who could need it and they don't have to spend their money on it, money that they could use for something else. Maybe even money that they could buy their kids a pizza and they don't normally get to do that, Like, I think about those things. Hey, Shay, those are things I think about, Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm weird for that. Listen, girl, I haven't bought myself clothes in like 7 years, probably since almost 8, actually, since my little was born. I don't remember the last time I bought myself a pair of shoes. Literally. I still have Uggs. The last pair of Uggs my grandmother bought me before she passed away, and she passed away when my daughter was a month old, so 8 years ago. And I take such good care of them because it was one of the last things that she gave me besides the little hand towels that I showed you guys. And so, like, I've had them for that long. There was like an entire 2 winters where I wouldn't wear them at all because it was right after she passed, and she passed in January right after Christmas time. So there was like 2 years where I wouldn't even touch them. I was too worried about it. But I mean, believe me, I get it. And that's smart. It's very smart, Allie. Yeah, 27. That's insane. That is not acceptable. That's crazy. Absolutely freaking. Listen, I wish I need one bad. Not just for like me, but someone else pointed out to me like a while ago. Someone I know personally, like, do you know how many people you already helped so many, but do you know how many people you could help if you had a car? And I was like, I mean, you're right. I'm not mobile, so there's a lot of things I can't do. Yeah, I do have people keeping an eye out or an ear out. The problem is coming up with that first initial, like, they want like $5,000 for a used car. I don't have $5,000, like $5,000 for even something that like just runs. I don't have it. Like insane, bonkers. Unless you can find someone that has like, a car that like someone in their family passed away and they don't really need it. And it's like been sitting in the garage and like they just want to get rid of it quick. Like that's your best bet of finding something that's affordable, reliable, that isn't going to die. You know what I mean? But those are few and far between. Oh, I love that though. But I bet you take such good care of that handbag. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's at least a couple grand. It's crazy. It's crazy expensive. Crazy. See, that's the thing. Investing. That's the smart thing to do is invest. If you ever have money to invest, you guys, or you hit the lottery, take $5,000 and invest immediately. Like it's the smartest thing you could do is invest money. Can I help you, sir? They were on that table, but I cannot confirm or deny where they are now. They might actually be up in the closet. Hold on one second, guys. Let me help the husband for a second. It was like, what, babe? Say that again. Thanks for making a second appearance. But hey, wait, you forgot something. Yeah. Forgot is something. Thank you. Getting didn't give me a kiss is a crime in all 50 states. I wish we could manifest that. That'd be amazing. I wish I could manifest everyone one. I'd be like Oprah. You get a car and you get a house and you get 10 grand and you get $5,000 to invest. Like that's how I would be like Oprah. I do have a Kohl's, yeah. There's a Kohl's probably about 2 miles from me, actually. My email, do I keep forgetting to put it in the, I feel like I keep forgetting to put it in the, but I just want everyone to know that I am open to and always answer emails from people all the time. I'm like happy to start, like I have some great conversations with some of you. Which probably end up being like on the phone and in text and in real life, because I've built so many relationships with a lot of you personally, just by one of you reaching out via email and then us starting like a friendship. And I love that. Like I would never have that otherwise. Can I help you? Who did? Oh, she didn't. Oh. So I have a neighbor, and when it was snowing the other day, my husband like shoveled out her driveway to make sure like she didn't fall or anything. Oftentimes she like goes to BJ's and she'll bring over like these big boxes of snacks for the kids for school. She does it for my neighbors who we're friends with who live right next to her, and then us, we live across the street. And so my husband was like, let me shovel her driveway, like so she doesn't fall in the ice, and she's got dogs, so she lives alone. And so my husband has shoveled out the driveway or whatever. And he didn't say anything. She wasn't there. I didn't tell her. You know what I mean? But I appreciate that, LTG. I just put my email in the comments. And what I'll probably use it for, honestly, is clothes for the kids, because that's what I always do. And that's so nice of you, because like that's, yeah, I mean, I wish if my neighbors had that, they would let me too, but they don't even have it. So, but yeah. So that's the thing. Like he did the driveway, and then actually she came over 2 days ago and brought a box with like the snacks in it again. So I was like, let me just ask you, like, where do you get these? Because I assumed like maybe she got them from, pantry or something. And she was like, oh, I go to BJ's. And I was like, you don't have to do that. And she's like, well, I do it for the kids next door. And I didn't want yours because they know it, my daughter knows her and see her every day and all summer long and everything. And she's like, I didn't want her to feel left out. And I was like, oh no, that's so nice of you. I was like, you don't have to do that. Like, I'm like, it's a huge help. We appreciate it. And then my little was like, yeah, daddy shoveled your driveway so that you didn't fall. And she was like, wait, the plow driver didn't come? And my daughter's like, no, daddy did it. And because he didn't tell her. He didn't need it. He didn't, want the credit. No one had it. He just wanted to make sure she was okay. And I wasn't going to say anything either. My little just kind of like, she's 8. So, well, daddy did your driveway, right? And so he just came in and said, she gave him $25 and he tried to give it back to her. And she was like, no, I would have to pay the plow driver 40. So I guess good karma, when you put good karma, I don't have old magazines now. When you put good karma in your karma bank, it comes back eventually, like you just have to put good karma in the world. If you put shitty karma in the world, that is what you're going to get back. I love thrifting. Don't get me twisted. I love thrifting, listen, I wish I could manifest that. Is that what we have to do? Like, but I love thrifting. I love it. I just like nowadays it's really hard to find things thrifting that are like that the price is right on it, right? Because back in the day, you used to be able to go thrifting and be like, for $3 you got this, or for $5 you got this. Nowadays it's like for $25 you got that, but you probably could have bought a brand new one for 15. Although I like the older style things. I'm always looking out for things that remind me of my grandfather. So like old Coca-Cola like signs, metal signs, things like that. Things that my grandpa liked, things that my dad liked, old like automotive signs, things like that. Fingers crossed. But I love thrifting. I do. Ugh, yeah. Savers is a good one. And also if you go into like a couple better areas like Westwood or Dedham, like over in there, or like Hull or Hingham. Unfortunately, they don't have one over there, I don't think. But over in those areas, you actually find like better stuff, I don't blame you, Read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill audiobook. Ooh, I'll have to write that down, girl. I'm a reader, as you know. So reading is something that I love to do. Where the hell is my pen? Oh, I know what happened to my pen. My little stole it last night after you guys must, where if you weren't here, you missed it. But all these little fake monies are on the floor because my little thought she was so hilariously funny. And she came in and was like, I'm making it rain. And she threw all her little fake bank money here in the show. It was very cute. I'm not going to lie. Here's a pen. She stole my pens. She keeps stealing my pens. Think and Grow Rich. I'm a reader. Even if it's an audiobook too, I can listen while I'm doing other stuff, which is nice. I don't blame you, Jules. I wouldn't either have a roommate unless I had to, you know? Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't blame you. I wouldn't either if it was my ex. The Secret. See, now you're all sharing good books. See this? I love it. It's boring, but it's the smartest thing to do. Make a TT day. I love that. That's so funny. You know, that's stuff I've done for other people, you know? I've done for other people that way where I've done like, you know, this, we need to raise money for this person or that person. It's easier to do for other people than it is for us. You know? Yeah, in the stock market. Yeah. Homework time, Julie says. Investments are always good if you have the money to do it, but you gotta put a lot in there to be able to get back the way you want, you know? You're a big manifester. Okay, manifesting. You need to teach me how to manifest things. It was very cute. It was so cute and it was so funny. I was like, oh, MG, this kid. Yeah, you can invest in real estate too. Yeah. Oh my God, so funny. Oh, she did. Yeah. I'm behind in the comments. My bad. I think it was, yeah, about 2, maybe 3. Maybe 3. Yeah. That's smart though, owning a condo just outright, you know? S&P, a lot of people have it in the S&P. You're not the only one. I saw somebody the other day talking about having stuff in the S&P as well. And then a friend of mine who was saying that her son puts it into that, which is nice. Yeah, I mean, it's smart. It's definitely smart to have it, you know, invest money for sure, you know? Yeah, you got to remember that there are ups and downs in the market, right? So people just, they panic when it goes down a little and they sell, and that's not smart because usually it bounces back up. Like you got to hold, you know? Listen, if I had money to invest in that, that'd be one of the first things I'd do. If I ever like hit the lottery or won a big amount of money, like I would take $5,000-$10,000 and automatically invest it. It's just smart that way, you know? Yeah, no, exactly. It doesn't crash really, you know, it always bounces back, which is why you just got to hold on, you know? That's pretty frugal, right? My bed is literally ready to die. I need a new one so bad. Ooh, conspiracy dinner? Conspiracy dinner. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Average return for the S&P since inception, which was the 1920s, is 12%. That's a pretty good return. Chili. Ooh. Yes, antiques and vintages. I love antiques and vintage things. I love that. 12%. The Secret's also a film on Netflix. I love that. Let Them by Mel Robbins. It's a short. I know. That is another one I have that one written down from you. God, I feel like I don't have enough time in the day, for the love of God. And I really don't, you know? I feel like I'm always doing something. That's pretty cool. There's 2 books. Oh, okay then. Okay. On Elise Day. Do we get to pick what day that is? We can pick what day Elise Day is. I love yard sales. I freaking love, you never know what you're going to find. That's the fun of it, right? You just never know what you're going to find. Like it might be like a something that is like not worth a ton of money, but means something to you. Like, and I love those kind of finds where it's like, oh, you can have that for $3, but that's something that like reminds you of like your childhood or something you used to play with as a kid or something your grandmother or grandfather had or your dad had. And you're like, $3 is well worth the memories that this object or thing will give me or make me think of. I love those. Those are the best finds. Ooh, The Secret was your first book. See? Yeah, you definitely don't want to sell. You hold. People, hold. Listen, I did a lot of research into stock market, and if I had the money, I promise you that is something I would do. I don't do book clubs. No, I used to lock myself in my room as a kid and read for hours, just hours. I wouldn't even realize how many hours went by the time I was done, because I would want to finish it, right? Like, I don't want to stop halfway through the book. I want to finish this thing. Like, well, that's the thing, is it's even the working poor really are the ones that get screwed. Like, for us, it's we make quote too much to get any help, but not enough to survive. So we are stuck in the working poor area where you can't get any help. And to be fair, anybody making over $20 an hour in the state of Massachusetts and working more than 10 hours will not qualify for any help. What does that tell you? You can't even pay rent on that. Say you worked for $20 an hour and you worked 40 or 50 hours a week, you still would not be able to pay rent for a one-bedroom apartment. So how is that too much for help, right? So if you make more than $20 an hour, 22, 23, 24, 25, you don't qualify for help. That's just reality. And that's the problem, I just want to pass my soul to other people, man. I just want other people to feel what I feel and want to do the domino effect, right? Like, want to do something for someone else. Like, that's the whole point. If you go back to some of my really, really old videos, I love when people are like, well, why do people video good things that they do? Some people, I guess you could argue, is for clicks and views, and others, like for instance, me, it's not about clicks and views. It's about trying to create a domino effect. So I guess, yeah, views, because the more people that see it, the more chance that you have to change it in a bigger way, right? Like, we have a chance to create a domino effect of giving back to one another in a bigger way if you show people that it can be done. And I think it gets judged too harshly because a lot of the like bigger content creators with a lot of money do it, and then people just assume it's for a stunt. But it didn't matter if I was right now poor or I had a little more money, like I did when I did some of those videos. For me, it's about the action itself and hoping that people who see it think to themselves, that inspired me to want to do it for someone else. Didn't matter who, just for someone else, a stranger, whoever, right? And so, like, I think a lot of scrutiny gets put on people who video their good deeds, and it's like, okay, but do you know how many they didn't video is the question. Like, okay, they might have videoed some, but do you know how many they did that they never talk about or that they don't video? I know, because I know myself, right? So I can assume pretty well that there are plenty of other ones that they didn't, or even talk about. And you're hoping to create that like domino effect. You're hoping to create people looking at it and going, that was really kind. That was really nice. And maybe we can do something like that. Maybe not to that scale, but we can start small. And mine are not big things. They're small things. And so this is what people can do when they come together. When people come together like that, you can do homeless backpacks, or you can bring things to the medical records department at the hospital that everyone forgot about during COVID. People were bringing things to the ER, to the nurses and doctors in the ER, but everyone else forgot that medical records still had to work, and they had to go back and forth between the ER and their offices, right? And they're up there, and everybody down in the ER are getting gifts and food and like being appreciated, and up in medical records, no one even knows they exist, right? So we took it upon ourselves. My aunt worked in the medical records department. She doesn't have any kids. She doesn't have any, that's it, just her. And I think there was like, was it 20, 25 maybe of them total. And so we decided we were gonna do something for them so that they didn't feel left out or not appreciated. Because my aunt used to tell me, like, she wouldn't complain, but she would tell me the amazing things that would happen for the ER. She's like, it was so nice. They did this, this, and this for the nurses, or they did this with it. And I was like, well, did anybody do anything for you? No, but that's okay, because that's, and I'm like, yeah, it is okay. But I can only imagine how they felt sort of watching all of that with people not realizing that medical records still had to be there every day, right? And so I was like, you know what, I think we can do better, right? Like, we can do better, and we can remember that they exist. So, we took it upon ourselves, and we got people who made things from small businesses in the area, and they donated those things that they make, and we put them in these bags and we gave them out. People made pens, they made cups. Then we went to the store and bought some other things. People donated, we bought them scratch tickets, like all sorts of different things. And we made bags, men and women bags, for these people. And we just wanted to show that like they're appreciated and they're not forgotten, right? And like it didn't take a lot to get people to come together to accomplish that, but it was about the action itself and hoping that maybe someone else would be inspired to do something. It doesn't have to be the same thing I did. It could be their neighbor next door that never asks anyone for anything, but the pride is there, right? And then if you do ask, you get steamrolled on social media. You're either a scammer or you should go get help because there's help everywhere. I mean, that misconception is amazing to me. Well, there's help everywhere for people who need help. That is completely and utterly false. If you're the working poor, you don't qualify for most help. Just FYI. So when people go, there's plenty of help everywhere, that is just staunchly false, right? If you're disabled, maybe, and even then there's not enough for disabled people. You have to fit very small criteria, and it also goes by where you live, what resources are in the area that you live. You can't just get it from like, this, if it's in Boston and you live in the South Coast, this area, the place in Boston only services the Boston area. It doesn't service the South Coast of Massachusetts. So you can't get help from them. Do you see how that works? There's so many different things that people don't take into consideration when they just assume that there's a ton of help out there, especially for the working poor. It just isn't there, Good for him. I love that. I love that. My daughter's actually growing back her hair right now, and I'm super proud, and she's excited about it because, she lost almost all of her hair. With the medications that she was on and the chemo drugs, and mixed with her other medications that caused like the hair loss and the hair follicles to like close up. And so now it's starting to grow back with the new medications that she's on. She's already thinking about all the ways that she can use Manic Panic one day in the bottom and do colors and what she used to do when she had all of her beautiful hair, She didn't want to get a wig. We talked about maybe because insurance would cover, because it's medical, a wig, but she didn't want to do that. She wanted to just stay natural. And I respect the hell out of that because that's hard to do, Absolutely. You can email me anytime. I'm also on X. I also have fake accounts of me, so make sure you get the right one. Yeah, buy and hold. Yeah, I plan on having like a panel at some point. Like a link for some people so that we can have some conversations. It's just hard to have open panels or RL side. Oh my God, goosebumps. I loved goosebumps as a kid. Loved it. Yeah, I get it. I get it, You don't have to be sorry to me, man. You don't have to be sorry to me. I'm not with the hate, I just am not. Yeah, we do. But also like we need to stop like shitting them, Yeah, like shitting for no real reason. That's the part that gets me. For no real fucking reason. That's the part that I really, I know where I live is too expensive. If I could afford to not be here, I would. That's another thing though. In order to move out of state and do all that, like that's a whole nother rigmarole, Yeah, they never do, unfortunately. And it's unfortunate, It's unfortunate. Yeah, love that song. We Are the World. Yes, such a good bring together song. You are right. I wish we could play music on here without getting strikes. If I was a bigger channel, I could probably do it and like get away with it without YouTube really like blinking much of an eye. But I am too small to be trying that nonsense. So much hate. There's just so much, So much, dude. So much. So freaking much. That's nice. That's nice. See, that's the kind of stuff, Most important thing in life is family and love. No, you're right. Listen, I'm blessed to have my children and my husband, and life sometimes gets tough, but I have them, and that's important. Girl, listen, I know it's easier said than done. And no, there isn't shame, but it's, it's much easier when someone just does it than you having to ask for it, because when you have to ask for it, there's a lot of shit that comes along with that. A lot of hate, a lot of aggravation, a lot of, just a lot, you know. There's huge gaps. Yeah, I agree with you. And Aiden's just a shitbag when it comes to that shit. He's also the first one to talk shit about people being poor. And it's like, bro, I'd rather be poor every single day than fucking be you, Aiden. You know? I am with you, Allie. I would give my left leg to spend one more hour with my dad. You know? One more fucking hour. Just 1 hour. 1 minute, really, you know, with my dad again. I would give anything, you know? He does. Oh, that's the thing. Like, he added me to like food stamps. I don't get fucking food stamps, bro. I wish. I fucking wish. Yeah, they have changed a lot what and how you're eligible for certain things. But once you're working, that you're not getting that help. It doesn't matter if you're poor and you're working like minimum wage jobs for 40 hours. Like, you still don't qualify. That old trope about that is so obnoxious. You think anybody can afford to live off what welfare gives? They don't give enough to even pay like a half a month's rent in my state. Like, you think people want that? I mean, that's just so ridiculous to assume that, you know? It should be expanded, you know? Oh, no worries, my friend. Listen, postage is a lot of money too. And I know, listen, I don't have it. You don't have it, girl. Listen, I get it, you know? I freaking get it. I totally, totally understand it. I'm with it, my friend. Canada and France have free healthcare. France actually is a fun fact. They send you a box when you have a baby of like and also, guess what's free in France? Childcare. Childcare could cost you just as much as your rent. So unless you have double your rent, which most people don't, you're not affording childcare. And you're not getting a stipend or help on it unless you're, you know what I mean? Like, again, most of the working poor don't qualify for that help because you're working. It makes no sense because the whole point for the stipend is for you to work. But if you work and you make X amount of dollars, they start raising the amount and you still can't afford it. And they don't consider certain expenses. Like, they might consider your rent, your electric, but then they won't consider gas. They won't consider if you have a car payment. They won't consider groceries. Like, they don't count some of that shit in. And they count it before tax, not after tax. So they're counting money that you never see. If you even get it back on taxes, cool, that's great. But they're counting like pre-tax. That's how they're counting it, you know? It's crazy to me. I'll spend the day with anyone. I also think we need to have like an outing day, you know, where we all just meet up and have lunch or something. That would be fun. But that's all he knows how to do is punch down, you know? I agree with you, my friend. I agree. It sucks, but there's not everybody has the same opportunities. I think people forget that. Oh, you just turned the light off on me, sir. Sir. You know, it sucks. Girl, listen, I agree with you there, you know? I totally agree with you there. Listen, girl, it is A-okay if you don't. You can save it for your neighbors or your friends. Postage is a lot these days. Even sending things out is a lot, you know? It is. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is in France, they have, yeah, see, that's what I mean. Like, it all depends on where you live, you know? And here in Massachusetts, we're now like the top of not being able to afford, like, we're on the top of the list. Like, we have now surpassed California and New York. Those states we're this big compared to New York, never mind California, right? And we have surpassed the cost of both of those states. And Hawaii is expensive because it's an island. That makes sense, right? But when Massachusetts has surpassed all of that in how much it takes to live here, it's hard to get out because you have to have the money to get out, and you can't have the money to get out if all your money's going to rent. I mean, it's nutty, dude, you know? Yeah, exactly. Exactly, girl. Oh yeah, he makes fun of poor people all the time. me specifically, he loves to play that game. And I'm like, I would rather be poor every fucking day of my life than be him. Oh God, so when I had kids, there was no paid leave. I went back to work 6 weeks after having all of my kids, right back to full time, over 40 hours, 50 hours, 60 hours of work, right after I had my kids, because there was no paid leave. We could not afford it. There was no paid leave. I had to go right back. I love cards. I love sending cards, you know? Yeah, and they don't reimburse, you know? They don't reimburse. Yeah, when we had babies back in the day, like that's not a thing, you know? That's true. They had money and they weren't happy. Money doesn't always buy you happiness. We talked about this the other day, I think, you know? Yeah, me, because I live here. I'm a huge Patriots fan, always have been. I actually broke out our Patriots blanket the other night and wrapped it around my husband while he was sitting on the couch. He just looked so cute, but he also looked cold. So he was watching one of his like softball games, and like he likes to watch, you know, the major softball teams. And girl, listen, me too. Right farm. But yeah, go Pats. I'm a huge Patriots fan, always have been. California is so much prettier. So much prettier. He's an asshole. You know? See, that's the problem. You know? That's the problem, is a lot of people are in exactly that scenario. And what happens if you don't have family? Like, I don't have family that could take me in. I don't have anybody that would have the space for my family. You know, like what happens then? You know, Hawaii is super expensive. That's a place on my bucket list, place I've never been. Hawaii, on my bucket list of places. But that's the thing, right? Like in our state, it's so expensive to even like a small bedroom, 2-bedroom apartment is anywhere from about 2,000 to 4,000, depending on what part of the state. And if you go closer to Boston, it's could go upwards of 4,500 for a 2-bedroom. If you're talking closer to Boston, in the area I'm in, it's a small, and I mean small 2-bedroom is anywhere from 2,000 to 2,700. So you're lucky to find something, and I pay over 2,100 a month for mine. And we had sort of like almost like a double parlor, so we essentially turned it into a 3-bedroom that way. Gotta do what you gotta do, man. You know? Ooh, Bermuda, never been there either. Yeah, 2 to 4K. Yep. If you go closer to Boston, it gets more expensive, obviously. Yeah, I mean, my friend Julie here actually like moved out of state, and even where she moved is expensive. Like it's not, you know, it's not far from the border, and it is just as expensive. So, and she used to live right near Boston, so it's bad. Like these are like real numbers. I'm not pulling your guys' legs. Like these are real numbers. Right now, you could buy a shack in Massachusetts for about 700 grand. That needs work. A house that needs work. Used to be, you know, 350,000. You could buy a decent home. Might need to rehab some, like maybe the bathroom, maybe some cabinets you didn't like. But we're talking upwards of like 700,000 or next to nothing. And so if you have 20% down of that, what's your mortgage going to be? A couple thousand a month. It's not going to be cheaper to have a mortgage than it is to rent. Yeah, I kid you not. We have real estate taxes, yeah. So you have your real estate tax for your property tax. It's essentially property tax, right? You have property tax, then you have excise tax for if you drive a car. They literally charge you excise tax every year. They charge, like, the amount of taxes in the state is absurd. You get the income tax, right? And technically my husband is being smacked with 2 states taxes, because he works, like the company he works for is here in Massachusetts. And he works for a logistics company. So we bring him to work every day because we don't have a car, and they don't let you bring home their vans or their box trucks. And so we bring him to work, and he works for a logistics company, and it's in Mass. But some of the routes of the logistics company are in Rhode Island. So we are literally getting hit with taxes from Rhode Island and Massachusetts being taken out of his check that we cannot fucking afford, right? And it is screwing us royally. And you can't stop it. There's nothing you can do. They're taxing you in both states, which is fucking, we don't live in Rhode Island, okay? There's no reason that we should be taxed in Rhode Island for him dropping a package off. The facility he works from out of is in Massachusetts, right? But because he has to drive the streets of Rhode Island, they figure, oh, well, if you have to drive our streets to drop off some packages, we're going to tax your paycheck also in our state. Who cares if Massachusetts is doing it? We're going to double down and get you too, which is fucking bonkers to me. But it's happening in real life right now. Yeah, so when I tell you, like, and they have limits on how long they can work, like driving wise. Like you can only drive 10 hours a day federally, like federal wise and state wise, 10 hours a day in a logistics company. You can only work 40 to 50 hours. 50 is the max. If you want to work the 60, you have to take like 72 hours or whatever it is, 78 hours or whatever it is after that. So you'd have to take 3 days off. That's why most of them only work 40 to 50, because otherwise you're screwing yourself for an extra day the next week. So like they can't work 70 or 80 hours and try to get a ton of overtime because they're legally not allowed to drive more than 10 hours a day and only that many amount of days. 55 is the max. So he can't work any more than he already does. It's just a lot, you know, it's a lot. Yeah, a lot of states do. A lot of states do. A lot of states. I have another friend who works in Rhode Island and lives here in Mass, and she gets both too. It's fucking bonkers, you know, bonkers. We shouldn't be taxed in 2 states. The state you live in and the state that you start working out of, like if the company facility is in here in Massachusetts, that's where you should be taxed. You should not be taxed in 2 states. That's, I mean, come on. Yeah, it goes by city and town too. So for instance, if you live in like a richer area, your taxes are going to go higher. You know, it's awful. It's awful. Exactly. We don't get any of that shit. You know, we don't get a lot for it. We get shit for it. They also say it's going to our roads and bridges, but we have the worst roads and bridges. It doesn't go to our roads and bridges. It goes into someone's pocket that isn't us. You know? Yeah. I mean, it's gross. Yep. Double taxed. I frickin' wish, Christy. I would actually love that. My husband is like a countryman at heart. I know he is. I feel like I could see him like roping a rodeo one day with a cowboy hat on, riding a horse. I'm telling you. Like he's just like a cowboy at heart. I'm telling you, he is. Yeah, no, and that's the thing, right? It's like they always talk about, well, if we do this, it would lower it, and it's like no, like for right now, talking about our the amount of service charges that we're getting on the electric and gas bills, which are 2 and 3 times what we're actually using in usage for electric or gas. The delivery charges are 2 and 3 times what we're using for usage, and they're under a quote investigation right now. Well, first of all, it should have been investigated a long time ago. Secondly, it changes nothing. They're never going to go down. It's not like they're going to go down. They give you this false hope that like, oh, well, we're going to figure it out, make a way for it to go down. Okay, when they say that, when have we ever seen anything go down? Oh, well, rents will go down if we build. Then they build and nothing goes down. You're like nothing ever. Once it goes up, it doesn't. Rents are not going to drop now that they went up. Has anybody ever seen rents go down after they've gone up? I certainly haven't in my entire 39 years of living. I mean, it's ridiculous. You know, that's ridiculous. Nonsense. That's ridiculous. You know, yes, it also does depend on the size value of your property, like how big your property is, or like your lot size and all that stuff, you know? And I mean, the property taxes, I mean, I feel like those need to be abolished. I mean, really, it's just ridiculous at this point. Well, that's the thing. They wouldn't need to vary by location, right? It would just be the same. See, that's another thing. Like you're paying taxes on land that just sits there, not having anything on it, you know? It is. That's the kicker, is it is legal. That's the shitty part. Yeah, see, she pays them too. She gets the same thing. Her and my husband do something similar. And so they have the same similar circumstances as we do, get taxed in both states. It's fucking bonkers, you know? Absolutely bonkers. Before I get into some of this other stuff here, we're going to talk about today. Sorry, just checking on something. If you'd like to help support the channel, we are just a teeny tiny, teeny tiny channel, and we can use all the help we can get. So there's a bunch of different ways you can do that. Hit the like button, the subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber. Think about being a subscriber. That's free. A member, you can be a member. You can gift memberships to other people. I'm actually going to give 5 away now. I gave 5 away last night, and they give me 10 a month at the first of the month to give away to my viewers. And so I'm going to give 5 right now because this is the last 5 I have. I'm glad that they give me these 10 to give away. Most creators don't give them away because we don't really get paid for them. So it's like you're losing money by doing it. But at the same time, like I want people who aren't usually able to have a membership or be a member have a chance to win one. I have no control over who they go to, by the way, at all. Not even close. I wish I did, but I don't have any control. It just picks for me randomly through people who are subscribers. And then there are the monetary ways of donating, which at the top of our chat, pinned to the top, is a donation link that you can use a credit or debit card for. And you can enter any amount you want. You can remain anonymous on any of these options, of course, and enter any amount you want and use your credit or debit card. It goes to my PayPal. It is a secure link. And then we have all the other basic options: Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Revolut for those of you out of country, and Chime, which is the same as Cash App. So let me give these 5 memberships that I have left. They give me. Bombs away, guys! Bombs away. Let's see. Where do they go? Where do they go? Parker! Aunt's girlfriend. 1-800-FraudBusters. Oh, cool. S. Blanchard. Nina. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, if I had the control, obviously, like that's a thing that YouTube needs to work on, is like allowing us creators to pick if you're gonna give us 10, you gotta, let us pick where they go, man. Like, let us pick where they go. God damn it. All right, let's see here. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, it's an uneven gap. Unfortunately, not shit we can really do about it. That's the problem. Is unless everybody actually got together and decided, like, we're all gonna do something together, then nothing really gets done about it, unfortunately. Yeah, trolls do get them sometimes. See, that's the thing, is it doesn't let me pick, it doesn't let me pick who it's gonna go to or why. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Yeah, that's what I want to be able to do, and it doesn't fucking let me. It doesn't let me. It just picks for me. Sometimes it'll definitely pick people who are already here, all the time. And other times it picks people I've never seen before. And I just assume that's because they're subscribers of the channel, or that they're watching and they're just, not talking in chat, which is totally fine. But it still sucks, because then I can't pick people who are here all the time and might want it. All right, hold on. Let me get. So I noticed this morning. Oh, wait a second. Is there spaces happening right now? Hold on a second. No. No, I thought about starting like a spaces while we were here, but then I would have to, like, you know what? Let me try something. Hold on. I want to ask Chris something, Oh boy. Yeah, I mean, maybe one day, my friend, maybe one day. I agree with you on that. Like, they just don't even listen. It's like, okay, well, why do we ask their opinion, or why do they study to be economists if nobody wants to listen to what they say? You know what I mean? Like, damn. Like, damn. Hey, Shannon. I'm asking Juan Koala a question at the moment. I see that there's sometimes conversations need to be had. And hold on. Juan, yeah, that's his handle. I think it's like Air Force Wands, or yeah, Air Force One Baron. It's funny. Because Will was in Mike's chat this morning and trying to like cause a ruckus and telling Mike like, oh, why don't you apologize to Mazza? Why don't you apologize to Betero? And it's like, why don't you apologize, Will, for all the lies? I'm definitely going to reach out to Allie, to the most reasonable person I can think of over there, and figure out how that happened to you. I obviously can't tell you whether it'll be changed or not. All I can do is try for you, but I'm more than willing to try, my friend, and see what happened there. Maybe guess, but I mean, I'm also more than happy to share with you my knowledge and experience privately, and I bet that you would have already had the same thought. You know what I mean? And I'd be pissed if I were you too. Like, I'd be pissed if I were you too. I'd be fucking raging right now. This is kind of like the stream I did the other day when I was like, listen, it's 2026. Like, I'm not going to hold back anymore and remain quiet and, just sit here and act like these things aren't happening to me, or that really shitty things aren't being done, that are dishonest and on purpose to hurt people, because they are and they have been for a really long time. That's just horrible. I YBE, can somebody, maybe someone can answer this. I sometimes like will get clips sent to me of like certain things that some of these people say that are wild and that they know are not true. They're just saying it to like shock jock, right? And someone will send it to me and be like, look at the amount of like super chats or the amount of donations he's reading from his own personal like thing, right? And I'm like, this is what you guys pay for. Make it make sense. Like, people don't want to donate to the channels that like are going to tell them the truth. For some reason, they want to donate to like shock jocking. They want to donate to like hate and anger and Will just parroting whatever the fuck Aiden says, and then the baker just parroting whatever Will says, because they all share the same donors, right? Aiden's Turtle Riders, and so they all need to do, have each other's backs and do whatever. Otherwise, they're not going to get paid. And it's like, listen, I'm a small channel. I know how that works. Okay. I'm very well aware of how all of that works. You do what you can. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe some days you don't make shit. Maybe some days you have a better day, right? But I'm also not a 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 subscriber channel. Like, if I was, then it would be steady, with donations and stuff. I'm a smaller channel. So when they come and sit there and say anything about me, I'm like, dude, I am a tiny channel. The fact that you are so bothered by me telling the truth tells me exactly everything I need to know. So yeah, maybe I don't get a ton of money. Maybe I don't make shit. But I know that what I'm giving my audience is the truth. I'm not going to sit there and lie to them because the money might go up. I'm not going to shock jock them because the money might go up. I'm not going to only read the chats that are super chats. I'm not going to only, like, you guys want to do that? You want to be dishonest? You want to lie for the turtle? You want to hurt people? I'm not down with that. And I don't give a shit what side you're on. If you're doing that same bad shitty behavior just a little more privately on the other side. Like, I don't fucking condone that. I don't want any part of it. Like, no, absolutely not. And it's like, I, kind of like you, Allie, at this point, had enough the other day. You know, I had remained silent about a lot of shit that wasn't warranted and didn't need to happen. And for the common good, I just said nothing for far too long. And I just had enough at that point, because if roles were reversed and it was me who was saying things like that, I would have been told that I was being mean. I was being a mean girl. It was shitty. It was out of nowhere. There was no real reason for it. But you see the effect, how it changes when it's someone different. You know, when it's someone that, you know, is in a group of people who are to like them or be told to like them, you get a different reaction, right? So if it was me that had done the things that she did, I would be getting harped on by anti-free Karen Reed for doing something like that, because it would have been mean-spirited, not kind, out of nowhere, no real reason. But because she said it and I defended myself, I'm the bad guy for defending myself. When the opinion changes based on who it is, there's a red flag there for me. Okay? If the backlash is different based upon who the person is, that's a huge red flag for me. That I'm not going to sit here and pretend that anti-free Karen Reed doesn't have their like cliques and mob mentalities. They do. It's just a fact. It's unfortunate, and I really think it's shitty, but I can't change that. I can only just be me. You know, I can only just be me. I can only just do what I can do as one human being. You know, that's it. That's all I can do. And this is the whole like rules for me, you know, for thee, but not for me thing, you know? How much people pay to go see the gladiators. That's true. That's true, you know? But for me, it's like, do I have to remain silent to not be attacked? And it's like, this is the same shit I dealt with Aiden Duke, okay? Like, I didn't lie for him, and he didn't want to tell the world that I didn't lie for him, and he got caught cheating on his wife and 3 other women. So instead, he had to make up wild, ridiculous, nonsensical bullshit and tell everyone I'm bad, right? Like, dealt with that in 2023, right? Deal with this turtle writer still to this day. The amount of fucking harassment, ridiculous shit I deal with is absurd. But I shouldn't also have to deal with it from like mean girl behavior on the inside of like anti-free Karen Reed. It's just like bad character at that point. If you're going to sit there and scream from the rooftops that what Aiden does is bad behavior, which it absolutely is, then how are you going to do that with a clean conscience by engaging in that very same behavior? Even if it's more private than public, you're still engaging in it. It's not any fucking better, dude. It's not any better. If you didn't bother to get to know someone yourself, and you're being told about what to think about someone because this one said they did this and this one said they did that and this one spun a narrative and that one spun a narrative, maybe what you need to do is ask yourself why someone needs to talk shit about so many people all the time. I'm just saying. Maybe get to know someone yourself. And that's unfortunate, Allie. That's unfortunate, because I do feel like, you know, they need help. But there's also a lot of other people on anti-free Karen Reed that people refuse to acknowledge exist, right? We have a lot of victims of Aiden's, and if I don't, you know, talk about the witnesses in the O'Keefe's at the same time as I talk about Aiden's other victims who are anti-free Karen Reed, who stuck up for all these same people, you know, they stuck up for the O'Keefe's, they stuck up for the witnesses. If I don't talk about the witnesses and the O'Keefe's when I talk about his other victims, then people start screaming at me, well, what about the witnesses? Well, what about the O'Keefe? Well, I've spent hundreds of hours talking about them. Can we have one, you know, space where we talk about Aiden's other victims, people who did stick up for these people, who also went through fucking hell in a handbasket and still do? Because then I get messages from those poor people who are like, do we not exist? Like, every time you try to talk about us because we want you to say something, like it's almost as if they're embarrassed that we exist. Like, we're there. Like, we stuck up for these people too. Like, we also got harassed, maybe not at the level that they did, but like their pain isn't any different, you know? Their pain is still pain. Their hell that they lived is still hell. And I don't think treating them like, you know, they don't exist or they're not important, you know, is the right way to do things either. I think that's inhumane and it's wrong. It makes people feel invisible, like they're unseen, like they don't matter, or that if they're not one of the main players in the case, that they can't even talk about or have someone else like myself talk about what they've been through, because some of these people are not known to the public. They're too afraid. They're too afraid to even say boo, right? So instead, they come to me and say, Elise, could you point out this, this, and this? Sure, no problem. Like, no problem, dude. I got you. They're too afraid of the mob of people that Aiden sends after. And so I'm more than happy to be that voice when needed. But then when I attempt to be that voice when needed, then I get the pushback of, what about the witnesses? What about the O'Keefes? Well, I've spent hundreds of hours talking about them. And Mrs. O'Keefe is an amazing lady. I don't know how she does it. She is one strong cookie, one tough cookie, that lady. And Paul too. And they don't deserve any of it. But I also think that the O'Keefes and the witnesses realize that there are other victims who also deserve 5 seconds to be talked about without somebody sort of scooting the way as if they don't matter, you know? It's crazy. It just doesn't make sense to me, you know? Yeah, you got to scroll back. You got to scroll back if you want to understand the full text of what she's talking about. Yeah, but you know me in real life, right? And so, I mean, there are so many people who are like, this is them on screen, and then they're different in real life. Like, this is what you get. This is me, like in real life. And Julie can tell, she knows me in real life, like as a real human. I'm not different here. I've been toning down some of my F-bombs on screen. I'm not different in real life. Like, this is who I am in real life, you know? And I don't want to ever try to be someone else, because I'm not someone else. I just want to be me. I want to be the most me I can give you guys within, you know, safety parameters, of course. And I give you guys as much of me as I can, including the faults, right? Like, I share things with people so that they understand me as a person, maybe even overshare sometimes. But I want them to understand that I understand. I get it. I'm not judgmental. So, like, if you've gone through something, or you're, you know, something happened a year or two ago, and you're like, well, I'm afraid because, you know, this one thing happened 2 years ago, and, you know, I'm afraid of people trying to like shame me for it. Like, I'm not that person. I'm not, I would never do that. That is not me, you know? I don't think you're garbage at all, Ellie. I think you hit your limit, you know? I think you hit your limit, and I think I don't freaking blame you. I hit my limit, you know? No, me, I'm not judgmental. Like, I'm not judgmental. I'm not a judgmental person, you know? Like, I don't give a shit what someone did a year ago, 3 years ago. Like, that's what Aiden tries to do, right? Like, you know, oh, well, fucking 10 years ago, you got a OUI, or 10 years ago, you found your husband cheating and wife with the girlfriend, and you fought the girlfriend. It's like, come on, man. Like, you want to shame someone for that? For fuck's sake. You know? Like, that's ridiculous. Like, but there are people who are judgmental. It's like, if you don't fit into that small category they want you to be in, right? Then you're not useful, right? Or if you're some sort of threat, if your intelligence is a threat, if your information is good and you get information they want, or they wanted first, or, I mean, everything is some weird competition. I don't need to be in a competition. I'll fucking share. Like, here you go. You can have what I have. Like, I don't, it's weird. You're in a competition with people who aren't in a competition with you, you know? No, I'm just talking about like in general. Like, in general, that's the way like Aiden operates, you know? Like, that's the kind of shit he does. Like, as a person, for me, like, I've been through so much crap. Like, I'm not judgmental like that. I could care less what someone, you know, did 2 years ago, you know? And for people even like you, Allie, when you have like a squeaky clean record, like, Aiden just makes shit up. Like, that's what he does. Just make shit up. Aiden loves to make shit up. So when you have nothing on you, he'll literally just make it up as he goes. Like, and that's the part that people, I don't think, always understand. But you don't need that happening from Aiden, and then also happening from your own group of people who are supposed to be fighting for that exact behavior to not be happening, right? If we're fighting against that behavior happening that Aiden does very publicly, why are we then dealing with it happening to us privately on the same side? make it make sense. And this is one of the reasons why I chose to start having civil conversations, because it's like too much shit is being held in the dark. And you can't consciously fight against bullying and this kind of rumors and lies to control who likes who and who talks to who and who's friends with who and what information goes where. I mean, that's fucking weird to even think about all that. Who the hell has the time to think about all that, you know? And so for me, it's more like I can't. Like, I want to help people. That's it. Like, it's not hard, right? I also figured that, like, while I'm helping people, and how many people have said to me, like, you should get paid for your advocacy, at least. I'm like, the people who I help can't afford, right? Like, starting a YouTube channel was one of the ways that I could get paid and help people at the same time, so I can do what I love and make a living, being a disabled person who has a lot of health issues, having kids at home, like, dealing with my other kids' very severe medical issues. Like, it works for my family. Not having a car, like, it works for my family, right? Like, it works for me. I can shut the camera off when I want. If I'm in a lot of pain, I can get up. I can change the time of my stream. Like, I can take a day off, 2 days off, 3 days off if I'm in a flare up because I need to and I have to. Traditional jobs that's not happening, right? Like, and then you have to figure you got to get childcare. I can't afford 30, 40, 50, 60 grand in childcare. Simply cannot afford that. I wouldn't even be able to put groceries on the table if that was the case. You know what I mean? Yeah, they do. And that's the thing, is I love that Aiden has a problem with anybody who has like something 10 years ago, but he's facing like how many fucking felonies? And but he can just say that it's corruption and like that's okay, right? But no one else can be like, okay, well, so was my charge. My charge was like bogus. No, he's the only one who can say his charges are fucking bogus, right? Like, that's the part that gets me, is the hypocrisy of all of it, of the whole goddamn fucking thing. It's like, I can't. I literally can't. I just can't. Yeah, I mean, I know plenty of people he's went after that had none. He just like made it up as he went, you know? Like, oh, they did this horrible thing, or someone told me they did this horrible thing. It's like shit he does. He just makes it up, you know? It's just sad. You know, it's just sad all around. I just wish people could learn to just get along and not be shitty. Is that too much to ask? I feel like it shouldn't be too much to ask, right? Like, I feel like it should just be a thing we all try to do, is not try to be assholes to one another. But sometimes I feel like that's a tall order, you know? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it is a tall order. I don't fucking know. Well, yeah, that's very true. They don't care about people's rights being violated until it's them. Yeah, I mean, that happens a lot. Yeah, I wish, you know, there's a lot if I could afford that kind of stuff, like a lawyer, probably a couple people I would sue for sure, you know? Yeah, I mean, yeah, connecting with people is something I love to do. Like, I'm a people person in general. I just like people, you know? Especially, I like older people. They have so much wisdom and so many awesome things that you can learn from them if you just listen. People don't take the time to just fucking listen. They really, really don't. And I think that's lost. Oh, yeah. I would sue quite a few people for defamation if I had the funds to do so. I don't know. I don't either. I don't fucking get it. I don't get it. It's like, again, banging your head up against a brick wall for no reason. It just doesn't make sense. And it's like, that kind of us versus them is what a cult leader does, a mob mentality. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. The point is to divide and then control, right? I was actually watching something that was like cults, killers, and whatever. And they talking to like 4 or 5 different people who had escaped from different cults. One was Nexium, one was, I think, the Muslim Brotherhood of something, something. There was like 5 different people. Those are the ones I can remember off the top of my head. But escaped from like 5 different cults. So they had like 5 different people, and they were having like almost like a round table, I guess. And it was interesting to sit there and like think about what each person was saying and from their perspective, and also to see the similarities between each one of those people who are strangers to one another when they escape these cults, right? And it also was interesting to see the parallels to what we're seeing right now, you know? That's the problem, is the parallels that I saw to what those people were saying were fucking staggering. A lot of these people said there's shame, that they felt shame when they escaped the cult, right? That they had said and done. One lady went on like an apology tour of people she had tried to recruit into the cult when she was in the cult. And she was like going to them and like apologizing and being like, you must have saw red flags. I didn't, because, and she made a very good point. You don't know you're in a cult until you're out of it. Right? You keep saying it's not. She also said something important about not ignoring the red flags. You try to explain them away. And I think Bab said this on her thing last night, is like, you try to rationalize it because you try to see the best in people. You try to see the good instead of the bad. You're like, oh, well, maybe, this happened, or maybe there's a reason, like maybe, and so you don't realize that there's this thing, right? Like this mob cult thing, until you are on the outside of it. And then once you're on the outside of it, you cannot unsee what you're seeing. And it's so frustrating because you see people that you want them to just wake up. And that's what every one of those people who are talking on the round table from the different cults said, is you just one day wake up. You kind of just snap out of it. And then you're like, holy shit. It's a cult. Like it's a fucking cult. Right? Yes, like Scientology. And so it was really insightful to listen to all of these people speak and then draw these parallels that I have heard from so many people when they come to me after they've escaped it and saying, I can admit it's a cult. I can admit that, I was in a cult and that I didn't see it until I was out of it. Right? Like that's a fucking problem, because like the lady said on there, you don't know you're in a cult until you're out of it, right? And so when people are, and I think Babs last night, and even Meredith said, yeah, you always go with your gut. Always go with your gut. Don't ignore your gut. Never ignore your gut, ever. I tell people that all the time. Do not fucking ignore your gut, dude. It might not always tell you the exact thing, but it's telling you something is not right, right? Like, and it might not be like what you think it is, but there's something your body is telling you. And I always tell people, like, you should always listen to your gut. If your gut is saying, like, wait a second, hold on, I don't feel right about this, I don't feel right, like, that's something you should listen to, because that's your body being in tune with yourself. But when I heard these women and men speak, the parallels that I could draw between all the messages that I've gotten from people who have gotten out of the cult are fucking staggering. It's all the same stuff. They're embarrassed. They wonder how they could have fallen for it, or how they could have stayed so long, or how they didn't see it sooner, or embarrassed about some of the things they said or did while being a part of it, while defending. And it's like, that's brainwashing. That's how brainwashing works. It's a real thing. Who? I don't even know who that is. I don't even know who that is. Shocker. Another stage 5 clinger. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know who the fuck that is. It's just some idiot making shit up per usual. Like, dude, if you haven't noticed, I'm with my family 24/7. I don't get out much unless I'm going to the grocery store or the laundromat or a doctor's appointment. I don't go anywhere. So the shit that these people say, like the shit they're willing to make up, is so fucking wild to me. It's absolutely wild. It's wild. It's fucking wild. For me, it's like the level that some people are willing to go to stick up for a cult leader is insane. They're willing to lie to prosecutors, police, doesn't matter who, anyone and everyone, just to, hide what the cult leader did or what the cult leader has done. It's really sad. It's really sad, because then more people get hurt. And the goal here is to stop that from happening ever again. Stop that from happening. They're extremely harmful people, like Aiden. Extremely harmful. And they're going to keep doing it until they're stopped. ultimately, until they're put in a jail cell where they can't do it anymore, they're going to continue doing it. And it's unfortunate because I don't think people see the big picture here, which is if you don't try to stop it, this is going to happen again and again and again and again and again and again and again. So why wouldn't we try to help any way we can stop it? Why wouldn't we be an ear or a shoulder for people who have been victimized? I don't get it. You know, people do suck, but there are also so many amazing people out there too, Allie. I don't want to lose sight of that either. Some people suck and then some people don't, you know, and it's unfortunate because again, I like people. So it's like, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard because you want to see the good in everyone. You want to give everybody a chance. You want to make sure that you're not passing judgment or pushing someone away just because like so-and-so said so. And that should be a red flag. If so-and-so is in your ear telling you this person, that person, and every other person sucks and is bad and is this and is that, like if that's all they talk about all the time is who and what and where and why, then that's probably a red flag. It's Aiden's famous thing. Everyone's bad except him, right? Like everyone. What do you mean? Yeah, who do you mean? Her name's Lindsay, I believe. Um, yeah, but that's the thing. He doesn't have access to the internet like that. Like, so he can have other people say shit for him, but it doesn't have the same effect, you know. And also, part of any like court case or whatever could be that he has to shut down all that stuff, you know. Well, I wouldn't do that, Allie. I mean, it does go to the family, you know, the families, regardless of who's helping the money go, like who's helping make the money. It does go to the families. At least that's my understanding. But that's your choice. You know, I don't want to discourage people from helping the families at all. I think if that's what they want to do, they should, you know, and if they have the means to, they absolutely should. Um, but I also recognize that there are other people that I'm not going to act like they don't exist. I'm just not going to do that. The other people can do that, but I'm just not going to do it. You know, there are other people who need help too, and they're real. They don't have a way to ask for that kind of help, unfortunately. If all these people could even get together and sue for defamation when it comes to Aiden, I feel like they probably would because there's a lot of people that could sue him for defamation. It costs a lot of money to hire an attorney to take on a case like that, you know? I agree with you, Allie. I mean, it leaves a bad feeling for me too, in certain aspects of it and certain things. But again, I can have that conversation with you privately if you want and just give you my thoughts, experience. But yeah, I mean, well, to be fair, I think he's like anti Karen now, right? Like, he's like anti everything but himself at this moment. I feel like there's nobody who's more anti free Karen Reed than Aiden is right now, even though he wants to like now that he's seeing that they're gonna do like a YouTube series or whatever, he's like back to trying to like pander to the free Karen Reed, you know, people. Like, bro, come on, you know? Yeah, I mean, so like that's weird. It's unhinged. He'll go out of his way to call people that have nothing to do with anything. People's parents, people's aunts, people's uncles, people's like, and he's not the only one. Make no mistake about it. I think there was some talk last night about his paralegals, and people were like, "Oh no, his paralegals wouldn't do that." Ah, no, they did, and they have numerous other times gotten involved in quote drama. One of them loves it actually. She was involved in a ton of drama her entire life. That's what she does, you know. And so it's like, if you don't think that there's a ton of like his paralegals aren't involved in drama, then you got another fucking thing coming, you know. Yeah, I feel like he's just like anti at this point, you know? Yeah, I mean, didn't he like call her the C word? I mean, I didn't see that one, but like I've been hearing about it. Like because he's mad, right? Because he's mad that $500,000 didn't go in his pocket. And it's like he made millions of dollars. Make no mistake about it, you know? That's exactly what he's trying to do. It's exactly what he's trying to do. Weasel his way back in because he sees money. He sees money signs, you know? Weird. Like weird. What? That's weird. Yeah, that's sketchy. Girl, listen. Believe me when I say I totally fully understand. I've been dealing with it for 3 years and it doesn't stop for me because I dare speak. So since I dare speak, and I don't conform and I don't do what either side wants me to do, I deal with a lot of it daily. It's a lot for one person to handle, I'll tell you that much. It's a lot for one person to handle. But the whole goal is to bankrupt me, make sure my channel doesn't make any money or viewers or subscribers, and then shut me up and make me go away. And I refuse. I fucking refuse. So that's the goal. And I don't just take it from one side, I'm taking it from both and have for a while. So it's a double whammy on one human being. And it's like I refuse to shut up, I refuse to go away, I refuse to conform, I refuse to be told what I can and can't do, I refuse to be held to some fucking standards people don't even hold themselves to. Oh, I know it is, but actually like pinpointing who it is and then having the cops do something about it, as you know, is totally a whole different story. You know, I can make all the police reports in the world, but what are they really going to result in? Probably nothing. Well, we can't prove it came from this person because it's a burner number. We can't prove who it came from because it's a burner, you know, email. We're not going to go track it because they're. It's yeah. Yes, Ellie, exactly. You know, absolutely, my friend. I feel like I want to have like a panel, you know, and like you said, yeah, it gets nowhere, you know. He didn't think I would. And like, again, it's not just him. You know, I've been dealing with it from like both sides. It's kind of like a double whammy. And so I'm dealing with sort of like a suppression from both sides that are like pressuring me on two walls to close in until they, you know, pancake me. And I refuse to be pancaked. Um, Even if I make nothing on a stream, I continue on because I believe in what I'm saying. I'm not just saying it for fucking funsies, dude. Right? And I believe in wanting to stop people from being harmed or from this happening ever again. And I don't give a fuck who's trying to stop me from doing it, who's trying to shut me up, why, when, where, or how. I am not going to shut up. I'm not going to just go away. I'm not going to be bullied into submission. I'm not going to be gaslit. I'm not going to be God forbid I stick up for myself and then I have to deal with a smear campaign for sticking up for myself. No, fuck out of here with that. We are in 2026. I am done staying silent when you can't fight against the same fucking behavior you are doing. Even if you're doing it privately, it doesn't make it any less bad. Like, people think because they do it privately that it's less bullying. It's not. It's fucking not. It's still the same behavior that you're saying you don't like or don't think people should engage in while engaging in it. Make it fucking make sense, dude. Like, make it make sense. And God forbid I say that, that makes me the bad guy, right? Because I'm not willing to turn the other cheek based on which side it is. It's bad behavior on both fucking sides. Stop fucking doing it, dude. Stop fucking doing it. Stop hurting people on purpose for some weird projection of like attention or whatever other weird things they say to project. Like, what, dude? This isn't about that. You're missing the entire. It's about humanity. It's about treating people with fucking respect and kindness, and not just taking what this asshole said and being like, "Well, this person said this. That's my opinion now." And my whole group of people. You ever notice a lot of people say "we"? They don't say "I." Right? I think I don't like you, or it's we. It's always the word we, not I, we. What does that tell you? For me, that's a red flag. I don't need to say we, because everybody here has their own opinion. Everybody here thinks a different thing about a different thing, right? Everyone has their own opinion on someone or something, right? There's no we. There's me in my opinions and you guys in your opinions, right? Legit. I don't need to say, we all think you suck. We all agree. Why are you speaking for everyone else? And why can't they speak for themselves is the question. I'm asking for a friend. Are people not able to speak for themselves nowadays? Is there one or two people that speak for everyone? Because I find it strange that the comment is always we when you try to smear someone, including me. Well, we agree, or we think. Well, who the fuck is we? Who the actual fuck is we? I love that, Ellie. I love that. I agree. I don't know how either. It's a good, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I honestly think he needs like Sex Anonymous, right? Like, I think he's literally addicted. Like, he needs like meetings, like help, but you're totally right. I don't understand it. I don't get it. It's like a gremlin. No, thank you. I guess to each his own, but like, what the fuck? Oh yeah, it makes him very angry. What makes him he gets pissed when like someone says something nice about me, or I get a donation, or I get a like. God forbid any of those things happen. He has a fucking massive meltdown. Like, dude, I'm a tiny, tiny channel. Why the fuck do you care what someone has to say about me? That's weird, bro. I honestly think he has a sex addiction. I kid you not. Like, that's my humble opinion. I do. I didn't. Who was it that said? Oh, it was Meredith. She said like they were together like 5 days a week, right? And on the 2 days that they weren't of the week, he's like, fucking doing weird sexting and like trying to F other people. And it's like, you need it 7 days a week, or you can't not keep it in your pants. That's fucking weird. But yeah, we're talking about a narcissist here. And I agree with Scorpio. I agree, my friend. I agree. Everybody thinks, he's a good looking guy. Definitely no argument from me there. Although I would love for him to correct the false statement he made the other day. But apples and oranges when it comes to looks, right? Like, at one point, Aiden had admitted that like women never gave him a second look. And so now that they are in his 40s, they all didn't for a very long time. But now that they are giving him a second look, that he just can't keep it to himself at that point. Like, that he never had attention from women before. And now that he does, he feels like a big shot. It's weird. Oh, yeah, pandering to the crowd. Exactly. Thank you, LTG. I will check my email. Usually, I'm surprised it didn't just pop up. Usually, my emails come through right away. Might be because I'm on my other. Oh, I see it. I see it. I see it. I see it. Thank you. I appreciate you, though. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I see it. I see your email. I'll reply after the show, but I read it. So I feel you, my friend. Don't go through too much trouble. If it doesn't, doesn't work, doesn't work, my friend. That's totally okay too. I'm grateful for anything, anybody gives the channel or me. I appreciate it more than you guys know. And I it's people always say like, oh well, all creators care about the views and about the clicks and it's like, you can't change the numbers, right? Like, you can grow a little. Maybe this month you get less than last month, or last month you get, more than this month. The fluctuations happen. I can't control any of that, right? I really, really can't. The only way I can control any of that is by pandering or doing and saying things that wouldn't be me, And so I don't feel like I would do that. You know what I mean? Like I'm not willing to compromise who I am to make the channel grow faster. I'm not willing to just shock jock or say things so that more donations come in. I'm just not willing to do that. If that's what other people choose to do, well, and that's what they choose to do. But that's just not me. It's not how I approach things. It's not ever how I run my channel. You know, yeah, he panders definitely. I mean, people know how to donate to my channel, right? Like I might not have a channel that's constant, you know, donations or constant super chats, super stickers, but I actually prefer that it doesn't come in super chat or super sticker form because again, I'm a small channel, so the most direct routes are the ones that go straight to me instead of having to wait like a month and a half and YouTube taking its giant cut of everything, because that's what it does. You know, I prefer that it come, but anything I get, I read. So it's, as a matter of fact, there's one here. One here. Oh, girl, you're so nice. Thank you. Another $5, and it says, you are a remarkable person. I see PTSD too, and once you go through that, you end up having so much empathy for others, manifesting a car for you somehow. Oh, thank you. This is Parker, I think. She sent another $5. Thank you, Parker. I appreciate that. That's really nice of you. Thank you so much. This isn't Aiden's show where you know, it has to be a $5 minimum. You know, like it doesn't matter if it's fucking $1 or 5 or 100. It all matters and it all adds up and it all helps. I don't we don't have sponsors. We don't rely on what other people's channels say. We don't pander. We don't, you know, speak to a leader or a mob that has to tell us what we can talk about, what we can't talk about, who we can acknowledge, who we're not going to acknowledge, who we're going to pretend doesn't exist, who we're not going to pretend doesn't exist. I don't have to do any of that, and I don't do any of that. But my channel does run strictly on donations from all of you to cover the costs of even doing it, and then hopefully make something on top of that. And that doesn't always happen, and that's okay. But I'm not going to just shut up and go away because certain people want me to, because they don't like that I'm civil or they don't like that I stood up for myself. Like I have been quiet for a long time when it comes to some things. I've been very loud about others, but there's a lot of things that I have stayed quiet about, and no more, because it's not right. And it hurts more people if I just stay silent, which is something I actually said to Mike on his thing this morning. He was doing sort of like a, I don't know, almost like an apology kind of. And I'm like, don't do it, bro. Don't fucking do it. Because if you shut up and you go away and you stay silent and you allow it all to stand, then it hurts other people because we're not willing to stand up and say, this isn't okay. And for a long time, I did that. But at some point, you have to be like, if I don't, even if I'm standing by myself, dude, like someone's got to stand up and be like, this isn't okay. And I get it. People are afraid. People don't want to. They've seen the level of crazy shit that people like me have dealt with. And they're like, no, I don't want that. No, I don't want to deal with that. And I understand it. I don't knock anybody who doesn't. But I feel like for people who can or will stand up, please do. Because if you don't, there's less and less of us that are telling the truth about it. And less people who are going to believe it. They're just like, oh, you're lying. The more people who stand up and say, I also experienced this. This is not okay. Like, then the more people will listen, right? And the less people that can be hurt. Ooh, that's a good one, Rose. Each and every one of the 7 deadly sins. That is a good point. You know? Oh yeah, I'm sure. It's all he does. He does a lot of pity shit, you know? But I mean, it's something that I, like he said privately to someone in a text message that I have from like 2023, I believe. So it's, I mean, that's the only reason why I believe there's some truth to it is because he said it privately to someone, you know. I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. Sometimes we just need a minute to woosah, you know. Woosah. I don't want to discourage anybody from helping out, you know. But I agree with you here where exactly this, exactly this, Allie. I full-heartedly agree. You cannot You cannot fight against something that you're actively doing yourself. You just fucking can't. It's not a thing. Like I don't ever want someone to feel like, here's the thing. No one is afraid that I'm going to make up a rumor or a lie about them and spread it all around and tell people not to support them or tell people not to like them, or like no one is afraid that I'm going to do that. You have to ask yourself why people would be engaging in that or doing that to begin with. It's not because they have good intentions. Oh my God. It popped up on your stuff. That's weird. I mean, I don't do politics over here just because like politics just make people argue, and I'm not a politics channel. If I was a politics channel, I guess that would be different. But it's not that people don't like his politics. People just don't like him. They don't like him. They don't like the misogynistic, racist bullshit and the woman hating crap that he does. It has nothing to do with politics, dude. He's just a fucking weirdo. Yeah, it is just not it. You are 100% right. It is just not it. I mean, me too. But I also agree with Allie here, where it's like, I'm not going to name call any victims at all. A victim is a victim. You don't have to like the victim. You don't have to agree with the victim's views, but a victim is also a victim. Should we blame the victim? Like, we're not doing that. We're not fucking doing that. Like, no. I just don't get it. I just don't understand it. And maybe you'll feel differently tomorrow, Allie. Maybe we can get to the bottom of it and, whatever. It's just sad for me, Oh, yeah, they're real nasty. Like, real nasty. I stand up and say, nothing is okay. I love you. Good afternoon. Oh, well, I've done that before when I used to have one. Yes, you'll be back to your jolly self tomorrow. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not a fan of people who like platform his bullshit and know that it's wrong and then continue to do it because they want his, and that's what it boils down to, is they want his viewers who are sending all that money to him to send that money to them. And it's like, yes, I know everyone has to make a living. I'm not knocking creators for making a living. I get it. But like, where is the line? Do you lose yourself, your soul, your integrity, like all of it for more and more donations? Or do you keep yourself intact and wait patiently until you have built it brick by brick, until we get to the point where people are willing to donate and support your channel? Like, I'll wait as long as it takes. I've refused to give myself over to doing that kind of shit. You learn lessons from doing this and being a creator, and that was a lesson I learned very early on. It's like, you could lose yourself in all of this, and I am not willing to do that. I went through that with my abuser, and I vowed at that point that no one would ever control me ever again. I would never lose who I was, and I was a very lost person at that point in my life, being with my abuser, and I will never let that happen again, ever. Yeah, I mean, why are we like, this is long known information too about him and his like, listen, I am totally ready to help you. How far are you? So I can know when to wrap this up here. I'm going to be helping Ash. She just had surgery, so she needs some help, and I'm more than happy to help. Yeah, you don't listen, girl. Listen, if you're not on X, don't be. It's even worse over there. I'm telling you, Allie. I'm telling you, it's like worse. You definitely do not want to be over there, my friend. You literally don't. I promise. Hi, Steph. Hi. Hello, darling. It was nice to see you last night. Saw you in the chat, or this morning. I'm so tired. He doesn't. He only cares about his own. He doesn't care about civil rights or freedom of speech or any of that. He cares about people paying attention to him. That's it. Just him. That's all. It's not anybody else. Happy New Year. Just on generation. I'll fill you in when you get here, Ash. kind of the same stuff that you and I and other people have been through. But I'll fill you in when we get here. How far are you, Ash? Is the question. Yeah, it is like a toddler. There's a lot of ego. A lot of ego. He's got enough ego to give like an entire state of Massachusetts, probably 48 other states. Like realistically, you know what I mean? That's realistic. You know, it really is. Ooh, broken nail. My real nails though, so it's okay. I need my nails done so bad. I just don't the time or the money for any of that. I'm glad everybody had a happy new year, and it's nice to see some of you. The game's gonna be starting in about an hour, which is nice. Let me just check emails real quick and make sure I'm not missing something someone's trying to tell me. A lot of the times when I'm live streaming, someone will be trying to tell me something and I'll completely miss it. I will completely miss it. Jeez. All right, nothing there. Just making sure. Let me also check. Oh, hold on. Hold on. You too, Jim. You too, my friend. Oh, 2 minutes. All right, let me wrap this up. All right, peoples. I need to go help my friend. Otherwise, I would continue this on. Obviously, might do spaces later. Allie, if you get a chance, send me an email. I'll put it again in the, because you said you don't have X. That would have been the other easy way to get in touch with me. But this is another good way, is just email. I love your stinking faces. If you're so obliged, make sure you hit that like button on your way out, my friends. And if you can, help supporting the channel and independent media is super important. Let's show people that it is not okay to behave in the way that some people have been behaving lately, and that more people just get hurt if we sit in silence and say nothing. Their whole goal is to stop me, shut me up. And sometimes I feel like it's working. You know, that's what they're trying to do, you know? And other times I feel like, what exactly is the end goal for them? I don't fucking know. But what I do know is this: my end goal is to make sure that people stop getting hurt. And I'm going to continue on that path. Period. You know, I don't care. I love B-Tim. He's one of my faves, one of my top faves. If anybody needs me, you guys know how to get in touch with me. You can email me. You can get me on Facebook on Twisted Tragedies. You can get me on X, Twisted Tragedies 3, at Twisted Tragedy 3 is my, and it'll say Twisted Tragedies, but there's also fake accounts of me out there. So the if the is not at Twisted Tragedy 3, then it's not me. On X, on Twitter. Otherwise, you can email me at twistedtragedies3@gmail.com and get in touch with me there. I do answer pretty much everyone. I love your stinking faces. If I have any chance to later, I will either do another live or I was thinking about a spaces. Either one, we'll figure it out, or I could kind of do both, I guess, like do spaces, but live stream it so that other people can hear it. If you don't have X, I realize some of you don't have Twitter. But I was just sort of talking with Chris to see if we could, you know, set something up. So I will let you guys totally know when I get that answer or when we figure it out. I'll see y'all tomorrow anyway. So I love your stinking faces, and you guys know all the ways to donate if you so choose. Even if you're on the replay crew, we read it on the next one. You remain anonymous. We have the link in the chat. It's also in the description of the video, and you can click on that for debit or credit and use any amount you want. Say anything you want in the little comment section. You can say you want to remain anonymous, and we just read the amount in the little comment. We don't read the name unless it's your screen name, and we'll thank you that way instead of reading your government name, of course. And then there's the other options, which are Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Revolut. My Venmo is completely locked. Nobody can see coming or going who's donating or anything like that. And I do that on purpose because all these people are insane. But you can remain anonymous on any of those. So I think I have a ghost. Something just fell out of nowhere and I don't know what fell. Nothing to fall. We got a ghost, God damn it. All right. I love your stinking faces. And if anybody needs me, you know how to get me. I'll see y'all later.